is running out. We've got 5 laps to go. Huffman and Vincent battle it out for the lead. Meanwhile, Chad Cole dukes it out for second as they go into turn 2.
Landon Huffman coming to a comfortable lead, coming out of 2. He's got about 8 car lengths, put it half a second over the lane distance as Chad Cole works the number 2 spot.
And the winner in race number 1 of the Chase for the RSR Full Throttle Cup Series Championship and the bottom of the race he made in $400 will be Landon Huffman in his Chevrolet 55. Huffman goes to 1.
Stand right in front of you, back it down, and you can get high if you can. Get high if you can. So 3 wide, 3 wide right there.
Alrighty everybody, I'd like to thank you for tuning in once again to the one-on-one segment we do here during the JDR Graphics pre-race show. Tonight, I have a different guest. I don't think anyone would really expect me to bring on JD Webb, but JD has been one of the pioneers of ETV Live, and him and John Wessling, they are the 2 men that have put this whole deal together, and they've done it on a shoestring budget. They've worked with a lot less than other companies out there have, and they've, as you can see now with our broadcast, I mean, we have great quality, and it's all owed to these 2 men. And tonight, like I said, I want to talk to JD Webb a little bit, so we're going to go one-on-one with JD. And JD, in 2008, ETV Live reached its point where it started to go into the public eye, and people could start to make judgments about it. And right off the bat in 2008, you guys put your mark on the sim broadcasting community. Coming out back then, what were some of the technical limitations that you guys had to try to work through? Because as we know, technology moves very fast. In 4 years, from 2008 to 2012, the technology has progressed a lot. Like I said, what were some of the things that you guys had to work through when you went public in 2008?
Well, Mike, first let me start off by thanking you for inviting me on to join you with the one-on-one segment here for the NASCAR Iracing Pro Series here tonight. What were some of the limitations? I'll tell you, and I got to make one correction here. I actually started with John around 2009, 2010. Most of the limitations back then, when John and I got together, revolved around equipment, CPUs, computers, video cards, and of course the internet itself, the bandwidth. In order to produce a quality stream, a high quality stream, you had to have the bandwidth. So your home internet connection usually has limits to the amount of bandwidth that you can actually push. But more importantly, what we experienced back then were issues with CPUs. We burned up a couple of them. I know we replaced a computer or 2 since that time. Of course, video cards play an extremely important part in your ability to produce a good-looking picture to start with. So limitations were many back then, and of course it was trial and error just to find out what worked and what didn't.
Going forward, from 2009, 2010, when you signed on with John Wessling and you started working with ETV, talk about your guys, how you 2 have used the Twitch TV service to stream the broadcast, and what are the benefits of using such a service as Twitch?
Well, I mean, You know, Mike, the first advantage to using Twitch obviously is because it's free. It's a giant streaming service open to gamers, and you know, the nice thing about it is there are no bandwidth limits. The only thing that you have to put up with, of course, is the logo up in the upper right-hand corner. Actually, it's in the upper left-hand corner, I believe. But when we first started out with its own 3D, their logo was down in the lower left-hand corner. It's a brand, a watermark that appears on the live stream. But you know, here again, I mean, you know, bandwidth being what it is here in the United States, it's very, very expensive. And you know, unlike the UK, where you have basically unlimited bandwidth and you can push as high a stream as you can possibly push and get away with it. You know, it depends on the audience size, and the larger the audience, the more bandwidth it takes. So obviously, we didn't have the backing, the financial backing to push to our own private streaming server, or even go rent one. So we chose Twitch. It offers the best of what we have found so far.
Now, JD, I know that you, John Westling, and everyone at ETV Live, you guys always focus on how your sim broadcast and what you put out is unique from the others. You know, you have competitors out there, WRN, PSR TV, big names that have been around the sim broadcasting community for a very long time. How do you try to separate yourself from the rest of them and put ETV Live at the forefront of the sim broadcasting community?
Well, Mike, you know, I think we are pretty unique. What sets us apart from everybody else is, I think, because we keep on working on it. You know, you talk to John and he'll tell you that ETV Live is, you know, is nothing more than a giant beta test, and it's been that way since day one. You know, John starting this thing out back in 2008, and then me coming aboard, you know, several years ago. It's just been one challenge after the other, and it's not a matter of problems that have come up. It's more of a matter of, can we do this, can we do that, or why can't we do this, or why can't we do that, and just pushing the bar. And you know, the late nights, the hair pulling, the times where you get so frustrated you just want to throw it away and start over again, quit, go on, do something else, take up knitting, you name it. But we persevere, and I think you know, one of the biggest things that make us unique is the opportunity to work with this kind of technology and just keep pushing the bar.
Take us through some of these innovations that you guys have come up with in the past couple of years. I know one of your proudest accomplishments would have to be the dual camera action. I know you've told me this story a couple times before, but it's really interesting. Tell us how you and John and a couple other guys back in the day tried to get this dual camera system working when technology, again, was a couple years behind the times, and you guys were trying to push something out that had never been done before.
Well, Mike, there's been a lot of innovations here from ETV Live, but certainly the most prevalent one probably going to be the camera, the dual camera system that we produced. It was pretty much a trial and error thing. It went on for about 4 or 5 weeks or so. Lucky enough to have Jerry Wolf along with us back then. And it involved, obviously, and anybody can figure this out if they thought about it long enough, but obviously it took 2 computers logged into the racing server at the same time. And, of course, back then, you know, how do you get that second image? How do you get that second camera, independent camera on the broadcast? And it was just a matter of being able to capture the footage coming off that second computer and you know, being able to insert it in the broadcast as a overlay or a picture-in-picture effect. So, but the biggest problem we faced with it that took weeks and weeks and weeks to sort out and figure out how we could get it done was the syncing up of both the computers. Obviously, you know, you're showing the same cars on the same track at the same time. You certainly don't want a group of cars coming off of turn 2 on one image and that same group coming off of turn 4 in another image. So, you know, syncing the two up would take hours before the race even started, and getting it as close as we could possibly get it. I would like to say that we were probably within tenths of a second, maybe thousandths of a second of one another. But back then, of course, it was very rudimentary, dealing with a remote computer that was, you know, thousands of miles away from, you know, where John lived, and just capturing, a single playback image on a flash player from a remote private web page. So very rudimentary, but through it all, we managed again to persevere, work the kinks out of it, and came up with a better way.
Now we're on the topic of evolution in sim broadcasting and how ETV has done that. Moving into the future, beyond tonight's broadcast, beyond the Pro Series broadcast, beyond this year, what are the goals of ETV? I know we had a staff meeting yesterday. I know you guys are cutting back on work because of your own personal health issues. What, if you can you predict what kind of innovations the viewers at home will see next from the ETV Live server?
What is the goal of ETV Live? What's next for us? We've been kind of toying around with some new ideas, some fresh ideas. Of course, when we started out, when John and I first started working together, it was an attempt to try to broadcast as many different kinds of racing, simulation racing events as possible. Of course, we've done dirt racing, sprint car, late model. We've done road racing, of course the asphalt, NASCAR style, oval track racing. We've done just pretty much everything. IndyCar races. We've run pretty much the full gamut when it comes to auto racing. One of the innovations that have come out of ETV Live, of course, is the ETV Live radio. We've been fortunate enough to have Wesley Outland from Fast Track Racing Series. He's a real-life professional track announcer. He worked with us here on Monday nights with the Real Sim Racing group, and had the opportunity to, attend one of his races with him. He took ETV Live with him, and we actually broadcasted the race from his booth over the air on ETV Live radio. And the opportunity for ETV Live, the engineers back here in the booth, able to interact with the fans in the stands at the race, was just something that has never been done before. So that opportunity exists. It exists today. It's very doable. There's a piece of equipment out there that's about $10,000 away that would actually let us hook up a live camera. So a lot more to do yet here at ETV Live. Only time will tell, but I'll tell you, we're not done yet.
Certainly does. A lot of technology that you're telling us about. It completely blows my mind. How you guys have built up so much, mainly in the past couple years. Again, ETV starting in 2008, you signing on with John in 2009, 2010. Where it has come from then to now is absolutely stunning. JD, I want to thank you for coming on here, and before I let you go, I know there's people out there watching that say, they always tell me, I want to broadcast, I want to be an announcer, I want to work on pit road, I want to be a part of a sim broadcast, because from home, a lot of people like it, and that's how I got started. I was watching broadcasts. I said, hey, I think I can do that, and lo and behold, started on pit road, and did the Friday Night Showdown for a couple seasons, which was a total blast. Tell the people out there that want to get a part of this how they can get a part, and how they can come into ETV and be a part of this growing circle.
Well, first of all, Mike, it's the will, the want, the desire. You gotta want to do this. You got to have the desire, the will to do this. And of course, the most important part of it, it's about having fun. If this is something that you enjoy doing, most certainly, you're welcome to contact us and find out more about it. But there is a trick to it. Not everybody can do this. We've had people come and go. It does require some degree of talent. You have to be able to tell a story that gives the audience the impression that something's happening here on the racetrack. You got to make it entertaining. Dakota Ehrman, probably one of the best pit road reporters that we have ever had, can put the storyline together down on pit road to give the audience the idea that he's talking to crew chiefs, and he's communicating with the drivers, and what's being done to the cars to cure the handling ills, and so on and so forth. And it provides a very realistic entertainment value to the audience when they're watching. They get involved with the broadcast, and that's the kind of people that we're looking for. We start everybody on pit road. You come here, we want to find out who you are first, but you have to come with some kind of background. You got to love racing. You have to know your way around the garage area in the simulation racing games that we do broadcast. You have to know what changes affect the car and how they affect the car as far as handling goes. Obviously, you have to know something about the track that we're broadcasting from. And you have to do that and be able to sound credible. So, like I said, not everybody can do this, but by all means, if you think you have what it takes, you can contact us over at the website, etv-eplay.net, just to click on the Contact Us link. Or you can email me at jd@etvlive-band.com, and we'll certainly interview you and, possibly give you a shot. And something else I want to add here, Mike, and it's very important. All the pretty graphics and the overlays and the tickers and the things that scroll across the screen, the dual camera stuff, it really all doesn't mean anything unless we have the qualified talent that sits in the booth calling the race. That is where it's at. That is one of the single most important reasons why ETV Live is as successful as it is today, is not because of the pretty graphics, but because of the talent in the booth, such as yourself, Dakota Ehrman, Mike Keaton, Wesley Outland, and there's the whole list that goes on and on and on. And of course, all the support group in the background, JD Laird, myself, John Wessling, just a whole host of people. So we look forward to talking to anybody who wants to come over here and give it a shot.
Couldn't have put it any better myself. JD, it's been a pleasure talking to you. It's been a pleasure working for you for, I believe, a little bit over 7 months now. So been together for quite some time. It's definitely been fun. I'm looking forward to this race tonight at the Phoenix International Raceway. There's going to be some hard racing. We were talking about short track racing before, and I think we're going to see some good old short track tempers tonight. So it's going to be a good race.
Well, thanks, Mike. I've had a lot of fun here joining you with the one-on-one segment here tonight, and I got to tell you, you're quite the talent. We've enjoyed working with you here at ETV Live, and hope that you'll stick around for 2013.
Don't you go away. We'll be back with more of the JDR Graphics Free Race Show.
Stand right in front of you, back down, and get high if you can. Get high if you can. So 3 wide right there.
The road to the NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship rolls through the desert this evening. It's round number 3 of the NASCAR iRacing Pro Series from the Phoenix International Raceway. Tim Terry, Mike Conti, and Dakota Ehrman on pit road. Mike Keaton, I believe, Mike, he's still at the hot dog stand at Texas where we left him last week. JD Laird is off on vacation this week, but we have an exciting race upcoming here. It is the Phoenix International Raceway, a little bit different than these first 2 races, and from what I've been hearing here the last couple of hours, these guys are a little bit anxious and a little bit impatient to get out here tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough race tonight, Tim. One thing that we've been seeing a lot this week is that tire management is back in play. We haven't spoke a lot about that since this new tire was introduced a little over a year ago now. But at this 1 mile short track, there's not a lot of grip. We're still in the old configuration of the Phoenix International Raceway. And because we don't have any grip here this week, right rear tires are burning off really quickly. So these guys tonight, they're going to have to make sure they don't use too much gas up off the corners because, Tim, if you burn up these tires tonight, you're going to pay for it, and that could cause you some problems down the road.
And when we look back from the previous road we've been on, it was round number 2 of the NASCAR iRacing.com Pro Series at the Texas Motor Speedway. And your winner ended up being Dustin Montgomery. After rebounding from round number 1, he takes the victory. Jarrett Crawford was second. Chad Lawton was third after coming off a strong run at Daytona, taking that checkered flag. Danny Hansen, Rich Doucette Your top 5, Carson Downs, Paul Kashiba, Joey Brown, Brandon Cattell, and Casey Malone, your top 10 in that race. We had 8 cautions for 32 laps out of the 167 laps. Any surprises looking back at that race at Texas?
Hey, you know what? That Joey Brown led over 70, I believe he led 65 laps last week, so he clinched the bonus point for leading the most laps, and we all knew that Joey was going to be quick going in. We were all talking about it before the race even got going, and Joey did not let us down. He started, I believe, in the 12th position and quickly worked his way up into the top 5, played a little bit of pit strategy, and once he got out front, no one was going to pass him. And as we saw, Tim, that last, or I believe that second to last restart, Brown on older tires started up front after having a pit road miscue the time before, spun the tires, and everything got stacked up behind him, and there was a huge melee that ensued on the front stretch. But Joey Brown was really quick last week, Tim. It wasn't a surprise, but he was up there with the likes of the Wheelmen Incorporated crew, Dustin Montgomery, Jared Crawford, Chad Lawton, Rich Doucette, all of them, the J-Show guys of Hanson and Downs. So Brown is definitely solidifying his place as a contender for this Pro Series championship, and if he can qualify into the 2013 NISWC, he will most likely be one of the guys that we'll see as a rookie vying for the championship next year. So definitely, Joey Brown, he's coming on strong. Brandon Cattell had another solid run. We saw him have to rebound from a lot of things. We saw him doored, I believe, 2 or 3 times last week, so it was actually a surprise that he finished 9th last week, and a lot of good runs for everyone else. I think another surprise was the long runs we had, Tim. We had a couple long runs to start off, I believe over 50 laps to kick the race off, and had a couple cautions at the end, but it was a great race, and I expect nothing less tonight.
And the attrition rate at the start of the race was low. We finished that race with 35 of the 41 drivers on the racetrack at the completion of 167 laps. And we had 30 drivers on the lead lap, so you really had to stay on the racetrack, albeit there was 8 cautions, couple of free pass cars. You had to make sure that your car was there in one piece at the end of the race in order to not only finish, but to collect those valuable bonus points with one drop week in this 10-race season. You really can't afford a bad race. Obviously, you have one drop. I guess you can really afford that one bad race, but if you end up getting into 2, 3, 4 races where you're having bad luck, it's going to hurt you in the end, and we're going to see these point standings here in just a few moments' time, and there's some guys that really need to pick it up.
There certainly is. Josh Lawton, we're talking about drop weeks right now. Josh Lawton had a tough run at Daytona, was caught up in, I believe it was Josh Parker's incidents that he had early on in the race. So Lawton had a bad week 1. He looked to rebound going to Texas, had a fast car, again, another one of those Wheelmen cars, so of course he had a great piece under him. Unfortunately, he was one of the 2 drivers, the other one being Kenneth O'Keefe, that ended up blowing their motor because they overheated it. So Josh Lawton has had 2 bad weeks right now, so he's used up his drop plus some. So Lawton, an ex-DWC driver looking to get back into the series, he's buried in the points right now, and after 2 bad runs, he's really got to step it up tonight at Phoenix to try to get back in this back into the game and try to make it into DWC. I don't think winning the championship is really on his mind right now. I think he just wants to get back in the top 25 so he can sleep a little bit better at night going to the final races.
Now let's take a look at these point standings right now, and obviously we're 2 races in. It's kind of hard to make assumptions right now, but when you look at the top guys in the standings, you have Chad Lawton with 2 top 5 finishes. You have Carson Downs, who's finished in the top 6 twice. Joey Brown with that strong run at Texas. Dylan Duval was strong at Daytona, and we've seen him in the NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship compete with those drivers. No surprise, he's in the top 5 right now. Chris Overland completes that top 5 in the standings. 6 points between your top 2 there up in front. Then you got guys that go on through the list. Rich Doucette. Jarrett Crawford is one of the heavy favorites coming into this series at the start. Adam Gilliland, Brandon Cattell, and Paul Kashiba, your top 10. Josh Berry sits 15th, one of those NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship drivers looking to make his way back into the series. Jeremy Allen, 20th. Looking back through here, we have Josh Connors in 24th. Jake Sturgis is in 14th place. Just trying to pick out some names. Paul Kashiba in 10th. And then you have some guys at the back that have started both races that are looking for some better luck. And you mentioned Josh Lawton. I want to bring up another name, Matthew Moose, the 31st place driver right now. Average finish, 2 races, 27th place. That's something he wants to rebound on. Andrew Fayash, the third, is outside looking in right now in 28th. Kenneth O'Keefe is in position number 29. So there's a couple of drivers back there that are looking to rebound after 2 tough weeks. Then you got some drivers back there that have only made 1 start. Alex Chambrone comes to mind after missing Daytona. He has that 1 drop, but he performed well at our last event, and we'll look to do the same here tonight.
Is Chambrone, because of Hurricane Sandy, had to miss round 1 at Daytona, but like you said, Tim, he had a strong run last week. His teammate, Chris Overland, had a strong run at Texas before getting into a little bit of trouble on the last lap coming out of turn 4. A lot of different names up here. I don't think I really expected Chris to be up here, at least this early on in the season. He's been strong. He's run consistent. He's run with a level head so far this season. I know that he's going to have a couple things going on the next couple weeks. Might take his head out of the game a little bit. Might make him miss a race. So I know Overland really looking forward to the rest of the season, but he's going to have to watch out because he's got a lot of guys that haven't really showed their hand yet. You mentioned Kenneth O'Keefe is back there. He'll be a threat. If Josh Lawton can keep it under him for a couple weeks and get a couple solid runs, he'll be up there as well. But as I look down through this field, Josh Berry will not be in the race tonight. He had a little bit of an incident last week where he disconnected from the server prematurely after wrecking. We call that the Alt F4 in the sim world. And the officials deemed that as illegal, and Berry will be out this week. Another driver, Justin Thompson, who had a very tough week last week, he let the anger get to the best of him off the virtual racetrack and in the ETV live chat room. I believe that was sent in to the head official, Shannon Whitmore, and Justin Thompson, for the second time, will be suspended from the upper echelons of the NASCAR iRacing World Series, the Pro Series, and the NASCAR iRacing Series World Championship. He was suspended once from the NISWC. This is his first time being suspended from the Pro Series, but again, this is a terminal suspension for the rest of this 2012 season. So Justin Thompson, one less guy that will be taking up a spot in the top 25. And Tim, speaking of guys taking up spots, we have not yet to see a full field here in this 2012 season. A little bit surprising. I really thought we'd see at least 48 cars at Daytona. We picked it up a little bit at Texas, but because of these suspensions, I believe we're going to have less cars tonight, which is going to be helpful to some of these guys trying to get into the top 25. But it kind of hurts the series as a whole because there are about 50 drivers eligible, I believe more than 50, around 55 eligible to get into the series, and not all of the drivers are showing up, which is a shame. There's a lot of good drivers that haven't attempted a race yet, but you never know. Maybe Phoenix will be the night where we get our first full field. And full field here, Tim, you've been around sim racing a long time. That could prove very interesting here tonight.
Right now, 37 drivers lined up to take the qualifying session. That might be a decent-sized field. We talk about filling the field. Sometimes that full field, as you mentioned, at a track like Phoenix, isn't really what you want to see. Those couple of extra cars around at the back, those might end up being your caution cars, per se. So we'll see how this all shakes out. We took a look back in the rearview mirror. We're going to take a quick commercial break. Then we're going to look ahead at what is ahead of us this evening. It's 156 laps at the Phoenix International Raceway. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the NASCAR iRacing.com Pro Series and the JDR Graphics pre-race show for ETV Live from the Phoenix International Raceway. And now let's get into it, guys. Phoenix International Raceway coming up here this evening. It's 156 laps, and you might think, short track, those are going to click by fairly quickly. But we could very well see a couple of incidents here this evening. This track tends to lend itself to that short track mentality. A little bit of bumping and grinding here.
Yeah, certainly. We're definitely going to see a lot of beat and banging here tonight. And like you said, it's a short track. Going to be close quarter racing. Not going to be as spread out as it was at Texas. The fall off in times, I think, is going to be spread out more throughout the field because the cars are just a handful to drive this week with this tire combination. But these guys, you only have a mile, and you're going to try to pack a little bit over 40 cars on it. So there's going to be a lot of cars on top of each other. Probably going to get off to a little bit of a slow start as far as cautions and wrecks and everything. Usually in these kind of races, we get off to a slow start, have a decent middle, and if the middle's good, usually the end isn't too bad as well. It just depends on when the cautions fall, and depends on if anyone's mad at each other, or depends if someone wants to hook someone in the right rear going into a corner and put them head on to the wall. It just depends on how the mood of the race goes, depends on how these drivers are. I'm sure we're going to see some drivers angry at each other tonight. We usually see that every Phoenix race. We saw it last year in the DWC. Richie Davidowitz turning Kevin King in the last restart. King wasn't too pleased about that, to say the least, and it was a little bit of a controversial race. One of the more controversial races of the season. So, again, I'd expect some controversy tonight. We saw it last Sunday, and this is sim racing, so I definitely expect to see some tempers flare tonight.
Dakota Ehrman down on pit road. What are you expecting from this racetrack at Phoenix?
Well, it's a lot like Mike Conti already hit on. Saving tires tonight is going to be very, very important. I mean, everybody's sliding around coming off the corners is what I've heard a lot of. It's really hard to get a handle on these cars, and it takes a lot of practice to get these cars where they're not going to be sliding around. So, again, saving tires is just almost everything tonight, guys.
And when you look at this, and I think back to guys that run well at short tracks and run well at these type of tracks, and Kevin King comes to mind, and Nick Ottinger comes to mind when we look at the big series. Kevin King really busted onto the scene in the series race 2 years ago, and then the NASCAR iRacing on Pro Series, the last race at Phoenix in last season. Could we see somebody come up through the ranks and do that again? I think we might very well end up seeing somebody come up here and surprise us here this evening. Who it will be, we'll find out in just a few moments. The drivers are qualifying now. We'll have the qualifying results in just a few moments' time. Now, I know we're getting into... we talk about rivalries on the track, Mike. I believe we're getting ready to have a little bit of a friendly rivalry off the track. We got something cooking up here on ETV Live, don't we?
Yeah, it's kind of in the alpha, beta stage, but I thought about it last week, and I was sitting in driver's ed class, done with all my work, and I said, well, I don't have anything to do. Let me think of something that we can add to this broadcast. And John and JD pretty much cover all that. But I thought of something. I thought of an official ETV Live NASCAR Racing Pro Series Fantasy Challenge. And we're really going to be kicking that off next week, full-fledged. I'm going to get into that as I read through the pamphlet here. Everything that I end up reading through will be on the ETV website, will be on the ETV Facebook page. So look for that next week to find out how you can join in and get in on the fun as well. But right now, we're going to kind of kick it off this week. It's going to start a little bit slow. Eligible participants. Anyone that works at ETV, we're all going to be having our own little battle up here in the booth with the pit reporters. And we're going to see who can accumulate the most points at the end of the season. Guys at home, people that are watching through Twitter, Facebook, and the member forum, you'll be able to participate as well. Now, the format is really simple. It's like many other challenges out there. I think it's the most simple format to calculate. It'll make it easier on Dakota, who's going to be doing the Excel spreadsheets and trying to put all this stuff together. And on the math side, you're going to make 3 picks every week, like we are up in the booth. There's going to be an A pick, a B pick, and a C pick. The A group will consist of drivers in the top 10 in the official iRacing point standings. The B group will consist of drivers in positions numbers 11 through 25. And the C group will consist of drivers in positions number 26 through last, and that'll be the 3 groups that you'll choose from. How the points will work. It's very simple. Whatever points your drivers receive are the points that the player will will receive. Example, if someone picked Chad Lawton, Brandon Cattell, and Andrew Fash, and they receive 40, 30, and 20 points respectively, the player would receive 90 points for the week. So it's very simple. You can follow along at home. There's no mathematical huge equations. There's no quadratic formula. There's no exponents. There's no nothing like that. I get enough of that every day, so I don't want any of that. I know no one else wants any of that either. There's only going to be one bonus in this game. There's no bonus points here, and there's one bonus. There will be a bonus given to any participant that chooses an A, a B, and a C driver that finish 1, 2, 3 in the race. Doesn't matter what order they finish. It can be BAC, CBA, ABC, doesn't matter. The bonus for that week will be 10 extra points added to the player's total score. Like we said, driver eligibility. A player can only pick one driver once during the 2012 NIPS season to avoid people constantly choosing the obvious picks. This will be kept up with in the Excel spreadsheet, like I said, that Dakota will be mentioning. How you can get involved in this, like I said, Twitter every week before Monday, 6 p.m. of the race on Tuesday, the following Tuesday. You must have your picks in, whether it be via Twitter, Facebook, or the Iracing member forum. Dakota will keep up with that. We'll tally that up in the Excel spreadsheet after every race. When Dakota gets all that situated, we'll put that out on each of the 3 formats right there, and we'll keep up with it. Maybe at the end of the season, we can choose a winner. We're still trying to get some sort of prize ironed out, but I'm sure there'll be something at the end to get you guys at home motivated to do this. So, Tim, I'm really excited to kick this off. So for this week, it's going to be the booth and the pit road, having all the fun. For this week, I'm really thinking that Chad Lawton is going to pick up his 2nd win of the season. So that would be my A pick. My B pick, all right, there's a lot of guys in 11th through 25th who could also pick up a win. I look back here, there's guys like Danny Hansen, Jeremy Allen, Casey Malone, Brandon Bookberger, Matt Witten. But I'm going to be a little bit partial this week. And I'm going to go with my guy, Danny Hansen, driver of the number 78 Pro Geek Chevrolet for the team that I race with, J-Show. I think he's going to be up there as well and score me some points. And for my C pick, I don't really know. See, this is where it gets interesting with this kind of format. The C pick is really the wild card in the whole thing. You really don't know what's going to happen. So for the C pick, I'm going to pick Alex Chambrone. He's only got one start, Tim, but I think he's going to be strong with the rest of his Schmidt and Chassis Works teammates. They're always good at these short tracks. Tim, I know you've thought about this quite a bit this week. Who are your 3 picks for tonight at Phoenix?
It's going to be mighty difficult to pick 3 drivers here. I like your picks. I think Chad Lawton's great, but I'm going to go out on a limb and go with Jarrett Crawford for the A list. Looking for a great run to follow up what he had at Texas. Your B pick, that's going to be difficult to pick somebody from that list. But let's, since he's outside the top 10, let's go with 11th place Dustin Montgomery on that as well, looking to pick up the 2nd consecutive victory. And looking at that C list, very difficult as well, but I think we have to go with Kenneth O'Keefe. He's one of those drivers that's looking to surprise, and he's had some great runs in this series. So we'll go with Kenneth O'Keefe for the C pick. Dakota, what are you thinking?
Well, I'm going with a teammate of Terry's guy. He's sitting 6th in the points. He's a guy that you really always have to keep your eyes on. He sneaks up there. He actually, I believe he won the Friday Night Showdown last season. He is, usually really quick. Richard Doucette for my A pick. You got to keep your eyes on that kid. And my B pick, I really had to think about this one, but I think I'm going to go with Josh Connors, sitting 24th in the points, just because he's from Indiana, Club Indiana, So just a little bit of bias there, I guess. And then my 3rd pick, because I don't really know anybody down there, I wanted to go with Andrew Fayesh III, but I can't do that because there is one guy I know. He runs Real Sim Racing, and he's leading the points, and he did really, really well last night. He was able to win here last night, and that would be Landon Huffman.
So there's 3 more picks. We'll have to see who comes out on top in 156 laps around this racetrack. And, Mike, this is a very integral racetrack. We talked about it earlier. It's a 1-mile racetrack with a short track mentality. Not a whole lot of banking in the corner. We're running the old configuration of Phoenix. This could very well be exciting tonight.
Yeah, it definitely could. I've taken about 350 laps around this track this week. My team put out a great setup, and I couldn't drive it for the life of me. And it took me that long to get it, so I know these guys, everyone that really tried hard this week, they have a lot of laps under their belt. And this week, like I said, out of my 350 laps, I was able to get together with John Wessling, J.D. Webb, and we were able to put together another up-to-speed segment through that. I'll take you through a hot lap, getting on and off a pit road, which is going to be proved to be very difficult when the tires are hot and kind of sliding around all over the place. So guys, the third installment of Up to Speed is coming your way in just a few moments. Get ready to enjoy Up to Speed. And welcome race fans to the third installment of the ETV Up to Speed segment. This week the NIPS is at the Phoenix International Speedway out west in Arizona. Mile racetrack, we're still in the old configuration, don't quite have the new configuration yet. I'm sure that'll be coming soon. But for this race we will be on the old worn out surface, which is going to mean we're going to have a lot of tire problems. A lot of people are going to be getting really loose off the corners as the run goes on. You can see right there I'm already getting loose off the corner. On the up to speed lap, you can see we're going to be running the second groove here tonight. Don't want to get on the bottom, that's going to make you even looser than you already are. Through the dog leg right down, you're going to cut the curbing there a little bit, get some more speed down to turn 3, make sure you don't wash out too far. Hook the left front of the line, slide up a little bit in the center, diamond it down, back off the corner, up off the corner. As much throttle as you can possibly put in it. That's a 26.714 lap. I'm sure you're going to see some of the really fast guys in low 6s this week. With their hot laps down there a little bit. You can see the counters steer off the corner, all the way up off the corner. Tires are already shot. I'm going to come down this time by to show you guys a pit stop and how we're going to get down to pit road tonight. Down to 3 and 4 once again with the mindset that I have to pit. Going to tell all the drivers that are pitting behind me. Let them know in the chat, both ways. Down pit road, here I come. Going to really slow it down, get to 40 before I get to that line. There we go, 45 miles per hour. All the way down pit road, don't want to speed, got to watch those timing segments once again. I'm a big person, I like to look at those timing segments and see how much I can really manipulate them, kind of like they do in real life. You're going to see right here before my pit box, I'm going to give it a little bit of a gassing up because I can, because of the placement of the timing lines. Right there, going to gas it up, right pit stop, pit stall, lock the front tires, right side's going to go up. You're going to see a lot of 4-tire pit stops tonight. 2 tires, I don't think that's going to be very smart. I'm sure you're going to see some people do that. Like I said, I don't think that's going to be the best thing to do, especially if you want to stay out in front and keep track position. So, off pit road, going to blend off of turn 2, up on its right, make sure no one's coming, wheel it off the corner, again, no grip, as you can see right there, a lot of gear, no grip equals a whole heck of a lot of tire spin. Down to turn 3 once again, going to come back up to speed, I need to try to get a good run off the corner, a little bit loose right there. I mean, I'm definitely not the fastest car here this week. Hopefully my teammates can get something better, or maybe they can drive better than me before tonight goes on, because we are definitely loose right now. But guys, that is the third installment of the Up to Speed segment here on ETV Live. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back one more time next week with the NASCAR iRacing Pro Series. Thank you for watching.
And we are now up to speed. Now we are up to speed on what's going to happen this evening at the Phoenix International Raceway. We're going to step away for just a few moments' time and get set up for round number 3 of the NASCAR iRacing.com Pro Series. Don't go away.
Hey dude, are you ready to rock and roll? If that's cool, then you need to do it over at HD Radio Network. HD Radio Network, 4 stations broadcasting 24/7 with everything from metal favorites to the 80s classic rock like legendary Leonard Skinner, Electric Light Orchestra, Foreigner, and bone-rattling, skull-crushing rock and roll on hard driving radio. Bear Factory, Stone Temple Pilots, Def Leppard, and a whole lot more. HDRadionetwork.com. Take your pick and rock your brains out, dude.
We are getting ready to go racing here this evening from the Phoenix International Raceway for round number 3 of the NASCAR iRacing.com Pro Series. And before we do, we need to get one important piece of business out of the way. Let's roll with our national anthem this evening prior to going racing.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Drivers in the happy hour session getting ready to go racing here this evening, and we have our biggest field of the season, Mike. 40 cars getting ready to go green flag racing, or one of our biggest fields of the season, I should say, out of the first 3 races. This is going to be exciting here. We have some drivers that opting to start at the rear, and then you got a guy like Carson Downs who has made a statement the first 2 races of the season, starting on the pole.
A really nice qualifying effort for Carson. I know J-Lo over there at J-Show put together an awesome setup this week, and I'm glad Carson made good use of it right there with 26.51, a little bit over 300s quicker than second place Jared Crawford. A lot of the same teams up front. We really have a stranglehold with J-Show and Wheelman up there with Dylan Duval with Gilforce mixed in as well. So it looks like the same faces up front again. Like I said, a couple guys starting the back. Thomas Hazard making one of his first starts this season. Jeremy R. Allen starting in the back with no qualifying time, and Adam Gillen deciding not to take a qualifying time as well. So those guys have to really hustle tonight to try to make a track position at a track where track position is key and a big success.
Final thoughts before we go racing from pit road. Dakota, what are you seeing out here during the warm-up?
A lot of people sliding. It's like I said earlier, everybody's taking care of their tires, and I have a feeling the first little bit of the race might actually go green. I know this track there is no bite coming out the corner, so we might actually go decently green for a little while, but I have a feeling towards the end we can see a few cautions, guys.
And we talked about this grid. Let's go down the starting lineup for this evening's racing action. We mentioned Carson Downs is on the pole with a 26.515 to the outside, 83 Jared Crawford. I think you're going to have to watch him before the end of this night.
Yeah, Crawford is definitely going to be strong tonight. He's strong every week. Took a little bit of time off iRacing, has come back better than ever. So look for Crawford to be up there, as well as Carson, who starts on the pole tonight. Chad Lawton starts third on the bottom, and Dustin Montgomery will be starting in fourth position tonight with a 26.56 through second lap.
Your next row is going to see the 12 with Joey Brown starting on the inside to the outside, 42 Dylan Duval.
Downs' teammate Danny Hansen in 78, starting in 8th position. Outside of him is Paul Kashiba in the number 32. Ooh, Rich Doucette is in 7th. Sorry about that, Rich. He's in 7th tonight. Danny Hansen on the outside of him in 8th.
And then we have Paul Kashiba rolling off from the inside of the next row in car number 32 and completing your top 10, Kenneth O'Keefe, 73.
Jarl Tyne starting in 11th position tonight in number 04 car. Outside of him, Philip Geist.
Cody Bias going to roll off from position 13 to the outside. It's Jackpot Jake Sturgis in the 41.
Your 5th placement in points, the number 47 Menard Chevy of Chris Overland. Outside of him is Alex Chambrone, his teammate, number 02.
The Sea Giraffe, it's Josh Connors going to start from position number 17, and Josh Lawton rolls off from 18.
Landon Huffman in 19th tonight in the number 75. Outside of him is Brandon Schmidt, rounding out your top 20.
Just outside in 21st is Benjamin Burmeister, and to the outside, it's the 14 of Brandon Cadell. He's got to come from midway through this pack.
As I put my reading glasses on, Jukka Savalainen starting 23rd tonight. Outside of him will be the 31 of Peter Bennett.
Vinny Sansone rolls off from 25th as the field rolls off the starting grid, and Derek Crone will roll off next in 26th.
We talked about this man in the pre-race show. Matt Moose in the 50 starting P27 tonight, a little bit further in the pack. Back to pack that he wanted. Jeremy Thornton, or Andrew Fayash, the outside of him at 77.
Completing your top 30, it's Jeremy Thornton in the 53 and Rob Ackley 22.
Kyle Gatula in the number 71, starting 31st position. Brandon Hookberger starting 32nd, the outside of him.
Matt Busa, Patrick Fogel, your next row.
Matt Witten with minute .6 second lap, and Casey Malone start positions number 35 and 36.
Completing your field is Richie Davidowitz, Adam Gilliland, Jeremy Allen, and Thomas Hazard. They start at the rear of this 40-car field. The first racing Ford Mustang pace car getting ready to head to the infield. Round number 3 of the NASCAR iRacing.com Pro Series is green, and Downs is away early. What a start for the Pro Geek Consulting number 97.
Hey, Carson was not going to let these guys try to get a jump on right there. Right as the pace car went off, he went. 97 leaps off of turn 2 with a couple car length lead off over the 80 career charge car from Buckner strong tonight. Right now, the battle will be for, it's way back here. Back in positions number 11 and 12. Geist, the outside of the 58. The 04 Jarl on the bottom of the number 04 Junior Graphic Chevrolet.
And just in front of them, they're tacking up a little bit. I did see Duval going at it with the 78 of Danny Hansen. Hansen flashes the nose to the inside of Duval once again, looking to pick up that spot. And that's where that battle really started to get intense around Jarl Tyenbacker in that 04 car. They were checking up a little bit for that battle in front of them, and then they found themselves within a hornet's nest.
Yeah, they were. Now you have Bias at the bottom of the 58 Geist. He's going to try to get a run off of turn 4 right here. He will down to the start-finish line. Geist will retain that position. 27 of Bias into turn 1 on the bottom right there. Going to be hard to come up off the corner on the bottom, pinch down like that. They'll try to get a run through the center. He gets to the 41 of Sturgis. He's going to get a run off as well and look to take the spot away from the 27 using the high line here tonight.
Decent opening laps for Jake Sturgis in the 41 as he moves to the outside of Cody Bias in the number 27, and just in front of him it is Philip Geis in the 58 as they come up off corner number 4. 3 laps completed just like that as the 80, or check that, the 02 of Alex Chambrone trying to make a move, looking underneath on the number 27, and Josh Connors is there as well. He likes this racetrack. Expect big things out of the 15 tonight.
Yeah, Connors is always a good flat track racer. I was behind him on one restart in the at New Hampshire, and he was up there, I believe, in the 7th position, having a great run there back a couple months ago. So look for him to be strong tonight. Back here, Josh Lott, Peter Bennett getting a little bit tangled up there up at turn number 4. 31 of Bennett saves it. Going to lose about 5 or 6 positions, but that could have been big right there, Tim. When you have a wreck on one of these straightaways here, there's no room to miss it, and you have a lot of cars pile into it because of that.
So Peter Bennett will once again find his groove behind the 07, just behind them. A little bit of a side-by-side battle between Vinny Sansone and the number 22 of Rob Ackley. Patrick Fogel is back there as well, looking to make something happen. And that's just it right now. We talk about this racetrack lending itself to the short track mentality. It looks like these guys are trying to find themselves a rhythm here and get some green flag laps in as Overland hits the wall off too.
Overland just skipped a little bit right there. Now he's under pressure. You can tell this is a battle for 19th and 20th. Overland already has some front end damage. He's got some left rear damage as well, as that 47 is already beat up tonight. No, he does not want to go on his vacation. Just like that, he'll be going away tomorrow. Bon voyage to him, but he does not want to go away like that. That 47 car, he's going to hold on to that 19th position. Now, can tell the 14 behind them. Lawton is trying to pick up a spot. Like we mentioned in the previous show, that Lawton car, the number 40, he's got to get going tonight if he wants to make top 25.
They got a little bit of damage to the 47 on the front end, but it looks like he's found a place in line behind the 3 of Brandon Schmidt to run. So we'll see if he can rebound from hitting the wall early here as we complete lap number 7. We work lap number 8, 75 of Huffman up the racetrack a little bit. Schmidt almost into the back of the number 75 Sim Seats car. He has to check up. Overland looked underneath him there. Nothing doing around 17th place.
His single file all the way through your field. The best battle is right now for the 17th position. Here comes Cattell back under Overland. That is for 19th, actually. Pardon me, right there. Overland's going to get sideways off the corner. You can already see his right rear is starting to go 9 laps into this race, so it's going to be a long night for 47 if he can't get it under him. Cattell's still going to battle side by side. 1 and 2. 47 on the outside, 14 on the bottom. Cattell is not going to get a run off the bottom. Overland will clear him going into the dog leg, down to turn 3, and he'll put a little bit of a gap on him. As you can see, everyone watching at home, if you didn't catch the pre-race show, if you haven't noticed already, this is the old configuration of Phoenix. Not quite on the new one yet, that'll be coming out soon, but not a lot of grip tonight. As you can see, that 47 car is sliding around all over the place, especially on corner exit.
And while we have the opportunity, we will mention that the iRacing new build came out a couple of weeks ago. The spotter pack, or the spotter function, is in this new build, the most recent build. If you're Chris Overland's spotter, David Schildhaus, you have a very excitable driver. He hit the wall, he has a little bit of damage, and he's running in a pack right now. If you're Schildhaus, what do you say to Overland to calm him down and try to put himself in a rhythm and think big picture here?
Well, you definitely have to remind him of his points position. Overland is currently in the 5th position in points going into tonight's race. You have to tell him, man, you're in 5th place. Do not overdrive him. Do not do anything foolish here in the early stages of this race. He's got a lot to lose and also a lot to gain if he can finish well, as the 40 Lawton takes the spot away from Cattell behind Overland. So Overland right now, he's got to get in his rhythm like he is. He's pulling away from the pack behind him. He's just got to keep the tires into that thing. Whatever he does, he's got to keep that right rear on it if he wants to be successful here tonight.
Back up front, it continues to be Carson Downs, but he is chased down and shadowed by the 83 of Jared Crawford. 3rd place right now belongs to Chad Lawton, Dustin Montgomery 4th, and Joey Brown. Complete your top 5. Single file racing, we see a couple of drivers try to flash the nose as they try to pick up some spots, but it looks pretty status quo up in front. Guys giving each other a lot of room early in this race, and I'm sure we won't see that when we come down to the closing laps of the race, but I'm seeing a lot of respect here early in this one.
We got a battle for the lead on our hands right now. Crawford looked to the inside of the 97 through the center of 1 and 2. Downs was able to hold him off the corner. Now he's going to gap him by about a half a car length. Crawford gets another great run off of 4. He's going to get the run down the front straightaway, not close enough to do anything. The 83 definitely looks a little bit stronger than the 97. You can see the cars behind Downs right now are starting all close in, so it looks like Downs is a little bit slower than these guys behind him. He's able to fend them off so far.
And if you're Jared Crawford, the number 83, how hard do you push right now to possibly take that lead, or maybe even, as he has a little bit of a slip up there in 3 and 4, how hard do you push to not only maybe take the lead, but maybe push Carson Downs a little bit further than he wants to go, to maybe to use his stuff up here early?
Well, I mean, you have to be careful when you're in Crawford's position. It is very hard. It is very easy to overdrive the car. You start to lose the right rear, and it's really not going to help you in the long run. So right now, Crawford is a little bit faster in that 97. He's got a spotter as well. Spotter's going to be telling Crawford, just keep hang on your right rear. Don't do anything foolish. Again, same thing with Overland. Just hang in there, and eventually you'll get him. Now, looking back in the pack right now, we had a battle for position. Yeshiva around Doucette back here, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th. You have Yeshiva, Doucette, O'Keefe looking under Doucette now and tying. They're all in a pack. Whoa, a little bit of contact right there. 73 into the 96's left rear through the center of 1 and 2. Off the corner, 73 is going to look once again into 3. Oh, Doucette's going to throw a little bit of a block right there into the corner. Doucette's going to slide up. 73 is going to look to the bottom. Doucette's going to close the door. Hard racing back in the pack right now. Looks like the intensity is starting to pick up. Looks like these guys are starting to figure out what these cars are going to do, and they're starting to pick up the pace a little bit more contact than we saw earlier on in this run.
Oh, 3 wide. Philip Geist on the outside. Chambrone and Bias going to go at it. Geist got pushed out of line, and he's going to lose a couple of spots here as the exchange will put him back at least 2 spots, and Chambrone will look to make it at least 3 spots as the Core Pipe 02 tries to make a move on the 58 of Geist. Coming up at a corner number 4, not a whole lot of room given to Bias on the inside from that number 58 as he tries to pinch him down and tries to hold that run off the corner.
Yeah, Geist is going the wrong direction right now. He started 12th. He's back to about the 15th, almost 16th position now. So not the start that Geist wanted to see here tonight. Looks like his car is not handling like he wants it to right now. I think he'll be looking for that first pit stop to come down and get some adjustments and get that 58 car rolling in the right direction. There's a little bit of contact between Paul Kashiba and Danny Hansen. So the 78 car go way up the track in 1 and 2. And now it looks like he's okay. We're going to have a caution on the track, Tim. First caution of the night on lap 19. Casey Malone in the 92 car appears to be around. Don't see a lot of damage on that car. Maybe just the self-spin, Tim.
It looks like he got into the 25 of Richie Davidowitz going into corner number 3. And I don't know if it was Davidowitz checking up a little bit early for the corner or if it was the 92 going in a little bit hot. 92 nevertheless gets into him, tags him, and slows up enough, I do believe, to stay out of everybody else. He may have got Davidowitz there a little bit at the end. The 9 car, Hazard, has to stop to avoid. That could have been a lot bigger than it was, but the 25 goes for a spin off the number 92 to bring out the caution.
Yeah, it looks like the 92 got in there a little bit deep. Maybe the 25 checked up a little bit earlier. He had his teammate around him right there. The 28 balance. The 25 probably wasn't racing too hard at that point in time. Made contact, and Davidowitz did back it into the wall, but he backed it into the wall pretty square, so I don't expect to see too much damage on that 25. Looks like the back end's pushed him a little bit, but aerodynamics aren't going to play a factor tonight, Tim. So it looks like that 25 will keep on going. No smoke. No, the car isn't yawed out in any direction. So, like you said, could have been a lot worse, and they got through that pretty well, I think.
Dakota Ehrman down on pit road. They're all coming towards you.
Yeah, and what I'm hearing right now is no changes in anybody in the top 5. A few changes from a few cars within the top 10 and within the rest of the field, but no changes for any of the top 5 cars. The only thing I'm hearing on the radio, Jared Crawford telling his guys that he'll give them a raise if they get him off pit right first.
Yeah, 4 tires for everyone. Like you said, looks like Benjamin Burmeister jacked down. He's hitting from around the bend. Looks like 2 tires for Geist. Downs, I believe, is going to win the battle off the pit road. It's going to be really close between him and the 58 car. And it looks like Geist, with 2 tires, is going to be the first car off the pit road. Downs is going to be second. Joey Brown up to third. Lawton back to fourth. And the biggest loser right there, Tim, Jared Crawford, loses 4 positions in that pit sequence. Actually, 3 positions in that pit sequence.
Yeah, nice little exit there for Joey Brown and Chad Lawton getting out in the top 5 as they will see where they shake out here once we get a couple of laps in here. I believe Dakota has something else on one of the cars that's now coming down on the pit road.
Yeah, Chris Overland coming down. His toe was actually knocked out. He's got a lot of damage on the machine. They're just trying to get it fixed right now as he's going to take 4 tires here.
So he's going to come off of pit road, and he's going to lose a bunch of track position. He was in that 15th place spot thereabouts, but now he's going to be back outside the top 40. And actually, I don't know about your screen, Mike, but he's showing on mine as 1 lap down in 48th.
Yeah, it looks like the field did go around him. Oh, he's going to get the wave around right here, Tim. So he'll be back on the lead lap, I believe. Iracing official does wave him around. 47's going to try to get around him right here. Iracing's head official is trying to get everyone out of the way. Overland will go high now, and the 47 looks like he will get his lap back. So the night's off to a slow start for Overland. Again, coming in here 5th in points, not the start that he wanted to have, but still plenty of time in this race to get it back going in the right direction for him.
So Overland will pass the field here, and he will be back. I believe this will put him back on the lead lap of the event, so we'll have 40 drivers that started this race, all on the racetrack and all on the lead lap. Your leader is Philip Geist. Carson Downs will restart in a second as the lights atop the pace car have been turned off, so next time by we will be going racing. We saw Carson Downs shot out of a cannon on that first initial start of the race. He controlled the restart, he was allowed to do so. What do you think he's thinking on that outside line now with the 58 to his inside?
Well, again, it's going to be under his control now. Downs, I believe he's got Jason Loafing up there, Brian Schoenberg. They should be helping him along. Tom Lewandowski will be up there as well, so they're going to be trying to tell him as most accurately as possible when that 58 is going to go. But 58 can go in a very large span of track, so they really have to time it. He's going to pull off right your pace car up. Geis is going to bring him down slow, and Geis goes 97 sleeping on the top. The battle's going to be for second into turns number 1 and 2. Brown to the bottom. Downs on the outside. Downs is going to get a good run off of 2 right here if he can keep it going. Brown is going to try to clear him. Not quite. 97 with a nice run. Going to go side by side through the dog leg into turn 3. Still a battle for second. Brown on the inside. Carson Downs on the outside. Oh, as Brown gets a little bit loose, he sends it in there. Oh, tries to do a slide job. A little bit of damage on the left side of that 97 right there. Contact between the 12 and the 97. Hard racing up front. Gets sideways off the turn 4. These guys are going for broke right now.
Hey, you think this will be the last lap as they will continue to run there? What a tough break. 30 or the 17 check that Brandon Bookberger has trouble off turn number 4.
Bookberger around number 17 car. Going to try to cue that up. Looks like he's going to be okay. Not a lot of damage. I'm going to go back. It looks like he's just going to spin off to the bottom right there up at turn number 4. Got a little bit loose. Oh, they checked up in front of him a little bit. Looks like he maybe put a little bit of brake into it. Try to keep off of the 80 of Vinny Sansone. And just going to loop it around, kind of do a half lazy spin. But the 17 will be okay right here. So no damage on the 17. He'll keep going just fine.
And that actually started up about 8 or 9 cars ahead of him. I believe that was around Josh Connors in the 15. No, check that. 51, Patrick Fogel, got loose going into corner number 3, was on the apron trying to pass Landon Huffman. He gets sideways to 15, the 28, the 14. They all had to put on the binders. 31 has to check up as well, and about 15 cars back, Brandon Bookberger goes for a spin. So that will bring out caution flag number 2 here this evening at the Phoenix International Raceway.
Yep, 2 cautions far early onto this race, and Tim, definitely expect to see some cautions tonight. Hopefully these guys can get back on after this caution and get a little bit of a run under them. Don't expect to see anyone come down pit road this time, so I think it'll be a good time to take a commercial break. Don't you go away, we'll be right back with more racing from round 3 at the Phoenix International Raceway.
Pace car in, you are back for the restart on lap number 28. Green flag flies, and Philip Geis brings them down a little bit of a checkup on that inside line as the 97 of Downs looks to the inside of the 26 and the 12 of Joey Brown. He is there for the lead.
Ooh, Luck gonna get to the bottom of Downs into 3 and 4. He's going to get down into 3 and 4 right there on the bottom as they get a little bit loose behind him. Oh, huge wreck in the back. Burmeister around. Huge wreck back there. I'm not quite sure who got into it, but there's a lot of cars around. Duval around. Bias around. Doucette in it. Tyan also involved. Oh, Jake Sturgis, I think, is going to get through it. Wow. And I believe Dylan Duval is having a meltdown on the voice chat right now, Tim. Unfortunately, we can't hear that. Looking at the replay right here, 3 and 4. Oh, wow. Duval was way out of shape into 3, Tim. I don't know if he caught the wall or maybe he had some help. Looking back right here, oh, it looks like him and Burmeister are going to get together. Oh, wow. Burmeister turns into the right rear of the 42. Huge hook for him, and they're just going to all plow into it. Allen also involved. Wow, huge wreck back around the 8th and 9th position, and unfortunately no one had anywhere to go. Josh Lawton is going to get involved as well, so a lot of cars that didn't need to be involved in that got caught up in that.
Carlo, 66 car. I think that's all we need to say on that one, as he hooks the 42 of Duval head-on into the fence. So, and a big wreck, as you mentioned, Mike, it takes out or damages a lot of good cars in that wreck. Not only the 66 and 42, but you see the 02 getting damaged from that. The 71 was pointed backwards. A lot of heavy damage to the 28 of Jeremy Allen. A lot of cars here suffering major damage in this wreck. Benjamin Burmeister, we look at that iRacing official. When you look at the incident system, each official has a point to determine who was involved in that. If I was all 4 iRacing officials, it'd be 4 points for that 66.
Well, actually, Tim, he's going to get a big whammy double multiplier right there, because that's within, I believe, it's 5 laps of the restart. So that's going to be 8 points for the 66, 10 points to be suspended. If he did accumulate any points last week at Texas, he will not be back next week at Homestead. I'm not sure. I don't think he did get any points last week, but you never know. So Burmeister definitely going to get 8 points here tonight. So that's going to really put him on the edge. But I'm not really sure what he's thinking right there, Tim. He just hooked the 42 into turn 3. I'm not quite sure what that was all about. I'm backing up the replay a little bit right here, as they always say, you know, look about a half a lap back and see what happened. And, you know, coming down the back stretch, they get a little bit close off of turn 2. We get John to cue that up. Lap 29, 66 and 42 take a couple swipes at each other. But there was really nothing that bad there, and just turned right down into him. I don't know if he misjudged or didn't really care, or I don't know, Tim. But that was a messy wreck. That's going to take out at least 5, 6, 7 cars.
And they're going to get right back at it here as the lights atop the first racing Ford Mustang pace car have been extinguished. It's going to be 58 once again, leading this field of green with Joey Brown on the outside in the number 12, 97 of Downs. Will now start on the inside. We'll see what Carson has here and see if he can't try to get the lead back. Geis in the 58 is gone. Green flag flies on lap number 32 as Downs a little slow on that inside line. 26 of Chad Lawton into the back of the 12, and the 12 is going to paint the bumper of the 58 in turn 1.
Getting real frisky up front right now. Battle for third. Looks like Lawton's going to get in behind the 97 right there of Downs. Crawford into the corner really deep, and he's going to have his teammate along with him, Montgomery. Side-by-side back in the pack right here behind him. You got Hansen, then you have Keith Crawford into Walt's right there. Kissed it. Here comes Lawton for third. Peeks his nose down to the bottom of the 97. Side-by-side through 1 and 2. And looks like Downs is going to get a good run off. Lawton's going to get a good run off as well. They're still going to be side-by-side down to 3, and the battle will continue. Oh, Philip Geis is going to be black flag. Your leader is being summoned to pit road. Lane change violation, Tim.
And looking back here at the restart, and I'm sure John can key this up, he definitely did change lanes way before the start-finish line, so that is a good catch. So Philip Geis will be black flagged. He'll have to come down pit road, and if he does not, his laps will not be scored. So Philip Geis definitely did violate that rule that was put forward by the iRacing officials, and here he comes down onto pit road now.
So that's going to relinquish lead to last week's dominator, if you want to call him that, Joey Brown. Didn't win the race, but he was really quick all last week. And he's going to lead once again. Cody Bias is going to retire it behind the wall, so Bias is going to be back in 35th position right now. He could very well possibly fall back to dead last if some of those drivers behind him do start to make up laps. Going through 3 and 4 right now. Joey Brown's still your leader. off turn 4. He's going to continue to be your leader. I'm trying to find battles right now. First battle is going to be around the 11th to 12th position. That is, that's Andrew Fayash back there with Derek Crone at the bottom. So 77 on the outside, 07 at the bottom, 11th to 12th position. Battle behind them, 41 of Sturgis, 51 of Fogel, side by side. So a lot of racing hard in the middle of the pack, Tim, but it looks like your top 10 are single file riding right now.
The 07 of Derek Crone had to get out of it a little bit there. It looked like he was going to wash up the track into the 77. Gives the run to the 77 off the corner. Andrew Fayash picks up that spot. 41-51 side by side behind them. The 81 of Gilliland is also involved in the battle as Philip Geis comes off pit road in the number 58. At least one lap down. Not sure how many laps down he is because of that penalty. But tough break for Philip Geis. Nevertheless, 51-41 still side by side with Gilliland. Looking on, that's about 14th, 15th spot.
Oh, we're going to get really close right there off of turn number 4. Oh, Fogel into the wall. He's going to pancake it. Don't bring it down, Fogel. Car low. Adam Gilliland's going to get to the bottom of him in the 81 car. 51 way up the track. He's going to lose 3, 4, or 5 position. Waiton's going to try to get around him as well. Davidowitz gets around him. I told you. Davidowitz doesn't have that bad of damage. He's back up into the top 20 right now. So he's going to get down to 3 and 4. He's going to try to clear his teammate. 51 up the track, really loose right now, burning that right rear tire off of it. Waiton's going to try to take position as well. Get real close right there up in turn 4 again. Battle's going to continue side by side into 1 and 2. You can see behind them, Chris Overland has gotten that ship righted. He's back in the 20th position, starting to make his way back up to the field as well. So with the set out of the race, Tim, that's your 6th place points, man. Chris Overland 5th in points. He can kind of put a buffer behind him tonight if he can make him some positions.
Battle for 3rd starting to heat up as well. Carson Downs is being chased by the 8 of Dustin Montgomery and the 83 of Jared Crawford. 8 flashing the nose to the inside of the number 97, the Progi Consulting Impala of Carson Downs. And these are 3 drivers up here, and I bring in that number 26 into the picture as well. That's running in 2nd and beginning to run away with 2nd place. These guys are battling for a points championship this season. I know Chad Lawton, there was a couple of question marks whether he was going to make all the races, but you have to believe if you're Carson Downs, you have to, if you come out of here with a decent finish, you have to be thinking championship too. Top 25 might be not so much locked up 3 races in, but you'd have to think a championship might be a goal too.
Yeah, if Downs can get away with the first 3 races with maybe 3 top 6s, that'd be a great way to start up the season. It's always good to get a solid footing under your solid foundation to go through the rest of the season. And I believe if he can get maybe another couple top 5s after this, I'd say he'd realistically be locked in halfway through the season. Again, guys, like Josh Lawton, Jukas Alvalainen, Keith Malone back there, those are the guys that really are going to start to pull up tonight. Back in the points to begin with, and they're not making up any ground. I'm going to go try to find a battle right here. Top 10 is pretty much single file. Everyone's single file right now. 51 and the 47 are side by side. Oh, 47. Oh, they're not side by side anymore. They're wrecked. 47 to Chris Overland. I was telling Tim that he was trying to make up points, and now he is broke. That 47 car is trashed.
And looking at it coming up off the corner, 51 and 47. 51 gets all kinds of sideways and saves it right into the 47 and hooks him up into the wall. There's not much that 47 could have done. The 51 of Fogel tried to save it and got into the 47 when he was doing so. So the caution flag will fly, and Chris Overland's night continues to get worse. And with this damage, it's going to take a little while on pit road to repair.
Yeah, it's Overland was making his way back up through the field, and it was going to make up maybe a couple more positions right there, and unfortunately 51 just got all types of sideways, and that really killed Overland's car. That's 2 hard hits for Overland last week off of turn 4 in the last lap. He got into trouble, and you know what, Tim? As he was coming down pit road, I think he might have straightened that car out. That car's a lot straighter right now than it was getting down there, so the 47 might not be done yet. As surprising as it may sound.
You guys, everybody coming down pit road, hearing 4 tires in fuel for everybody. It's been about 20 laps since we were last down, so we're going to see who gets off pit road first, who is the fastest stop. And I mean, it did make the difference last time, so we saw 2 tires and 4 tires, as I believe Joey Brown rolls off first, and really close battle off pit road there, guys.
Really close battle off pit road as these guys will race back towards the racetrack. Carson Downs is well out ahead of these guys as they head back out. Joey Brown, the number 12, is slowing down a little bit. Could Brown possibly get a penalty on this one?
speeding penalty for the 12 car, Joey Brown. So that's like the second or third speeding penalty we've seen out of that driver in the last 2 weeks, Texas. That's what put him in the hole and made him do some crazy pit strategy. It looked like it was going to work out for him to the last pit stop, but now he's in a hole. We're 46 laps into this thing. Really hard to pass here. Joey Brown, again, putting himself into a hole that he does not need to be in right now. That car's fast, Tim. Again, he's going to be the benchmark tonight on whether you can pass or not.
And out in front of the field, it is the number 9, the Thomas Hazard, showing the way. I believe he stayed out on the racetrack in this run. So the 9 is your leader, 97 second, Chad Lawton third, Dustin Montgomery, Jared Crawford complete your top 5. And we've seen the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th place drivers up in front the last couple of races. Daytona, you can call it maybe a little bit of a different beast because it is that wild card per se in the series schedule. But you look at 2nd through 5th right now, I believe those are the drivers that are really going to be battling for this championship. And then you add a couple of more in there, the likes of Joey Brown. Danny Hansen ran strong at Daytona. Kenneth O'Keefe is back there as well. A couple of guys that are looking to make up a lot of ground here in these upcoming races. But I think 2nd to 5th right now, if I had to make an early season prediction, I think your champion of the series is going to come from one of those spots right now.
Yeah, that's strong cars up there at a strong team. So those are really the powerhouse teams in this series right now. And you can even go back to, I believe, the 8th position, check out the 6th position with Danny Hansen, team car with the 97, so he's going to be strong as well. So, yeah, Tim, got a lot of good cars up front right now, got a lot of good cars in the back, too. Joey Brown being one of them, he's really going to have to fight his way back up to this field. We'll keep tabs on where he ends up. But Thomas Hazard, he's going to lead him down to the green, Tim. Really strong driver in the 2011 DWC season. He shined, had a lot of good runs. I believe he won Bristol in one of those seasons. So the 9 car, that driver, he knows how to get around here. Good short track racer, pace cars off. 9's going to bring him down, and he's going to get on the gas. 97's going to get a decent start in the outside as well. He's going to clear Lawton into turn 1 and 2 almost. Nope, Lawton's going to send it down in there. 9 gets a little bit sideways up in front of them. 9's going to check up the 97. 97 nowhere to go. A drag race down the backstretch. 97 shoving the 9 through the corner. Going to try to go 3 wide right here. Not enough room for that, boys. They're going to single file it out 2 by 2 right now. Battle for 2nd still going on. 26 is going to try to get 2 for 1 right here. Not 3 for 1, 2 for 1. Out of turn 4, Witten gets sideways. They're going to save it. Don't know how they just did that huge checkup in the back of the pack. The battle is still up front for the lead. 26 a Lawton on the bottom. 97 giving the 9 the bump for 83 over there as well. Oh, Tim, it's getting exciting up front.
Chad Lawton going to come away with this with the lead. Thomas Hazard has his hands completely full now. Jared Crawford to the inside of the 97 of Carson Downs. The 8 is there as well as they try to pick up spots in the number 9. And the 9 is trying to play both lines right now. That might not work out for Thomas Hazard as the 83 works down low. Carson Downs going to make it 3 wide. He's going to get into the 9 and spin him out. Caution flag will fly, and you have to believe, I mentioned it, the 9 playing both lines there, it wasn't going to work out for him. Somebody was going to get upset.
Yeah, he was just holding that 97 really bad right there. He was he cost the 97, I believe, a chance at the lead, and then he was just still parked in front of him off of 2, and Carson tried to throw it in there 3 wide, and not really enough room for that. You know what, you gotta go, and there's a hungry pack behind him, and Carson made a bold move right there, 9 into the left rear of the 9, and up the track he went. I think Thomas will be okay, not a lot of damage on that 9 car, so they should be alright. But you know what, that shows you that old tires are not a good way to go here tonight.
So now through all of that, your leader is Chad Lawton, Jared Crawford in 2nd, Carson Downs in position number 3, 4th is Dustin Montgomery, and 5th will be Danny Hansen. So I think, and should mention there in 6th place too is Kenneth O'Keefe. I know we were following the fantasy game there. I got all 3 of my picks in the top 6. I don't know about you guys.
Well, let's see. What do I have again? Oh, I have Lawton. Yeah, I have 1 dead on pit road. Dakota's telling me, so that's not good. But I have Lawton, he's leading, and I have Hansen, he's in 5th. Dakota, how are your guys doing so far tonight?
I don't even want to talk about it.
Oh, they're all dead, aren't they? Oh yeah, that's dead. Huffman isn't doing too well either, and Oh, we haven't really talked about Connors. Where's Connors? Oh, wow. Connors, Connors P29, Dakota, so not a good start to this fantasy challenge for you, is it?
Not really.
So we work down the back straightaway under this caution, lap 52. So we're at that 1/3 distance mark of this race, and we've, after the first couple of laps, and I mentioned these guys showing each other a little bit of respect, we start to see cautions come into play here. So maybe that respect level is slowly dropping, as John Adams would say. So we'll see how this the last 2/3 of this race go.
I mean, we're gonna, like you said, we got a decent run to begin with, Tim, and they're starting to junk it up in the middle, which is kind of backward from how it usually goes. But I think we have some attrition now. Okay, 33rd through 40th is all pretty mangled. So now that we only have 32 cars running the track, it should start to get a little bit better. This race has been really fun so far, though. A lot of close racing, a lot of good saves, a lot of good stuff going on. If these guys can get maybe 10, 20 laps under their belts, I think we could see a long run to the finish. I know I'm kind of being optimistic, but I've seen it done before. Run a lot of A races this week. Not as many cars, of course, but we've had some decent long green flag runs, and I really can't wait to see these guys do maybe a 30 or 40 lap run, Tim. Really see who's got the best long run car tonight. Hasn't really been about setting your car up for the long run the past couple builds, but as we mentioned, the pre-race show tire management, especially that right rear, going to be absolutely very important tonight. So we'll see who can really manage that the best, and who can really excel on the long runs. And we haven't seen that quite yet, but I'm sure we'll see that eventually.
And look who has made his way back onto the lead lap. Philip Geis in the number 58 after changing lanes on a restart. He's back there, and looking at the series, we've seen some past black flags for that very same thing. Lane change check that before the start finish line, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, we've seen some championships and some points and some positions being decided because of those late race penalties.
Yeah, we certainly have. There was a lot, you know what, I don't want to say a lot, but there were quite a few in the 2011 Pro Series and the 2012 NISWC. But not a lot, though. That was actually the first one I've seen in quite a while from Geis. A lot of these guys have been really cognizant not to pull that move off. Geis was really close, though. I had to look at it a couple times. He came up, but he was on the borderline. So more of a judgment call there. I'm sure Geis won't do that again for quite a while, because once you do something like that, you really don't forget it. But Geis is going to get back in the lead lap, guys, and he'll have another shot at trying to get back up front again.
So out in front of your field, it is the 26 of Chad Lawton, leading Jarrett Crawford, two very strong competitors. Carson Downs, Dustin Montgomery, 3rd and 4th. And then Danny Hansen in 5th. Watch for Danny to start making his way up to the front. I think he might have a piece for at least the top 3 here before this race is over. Kenneth O'Keefe, Paul Kashiba, Brandon Schmidt, Jake Sturgis, Peter Bennett. Your top 10 watch at number 31. I don't think we've heard the last of him yet this evening as we work into corner number 3. Mike, take us to green.
Yeah, pace car is going to lead these guys through 3 and 4. The leader, like you said, is going to be Chad Lawton. Your points leader, he's looking for 2 out of 3 wins to start off the season. That'd be a great way to start. That 26 Gary Mercer Trucking Chevrolet. Pace car is going to come off right here. Lawton going to bring him down slow. He's going to get on it real quick right there. Leave the 97 and the 78 in the dust. He even leaves his teammate in the dust, Tim. 83 is going to get a halfway decent run, but the battle's going to be for 2nd into turn 1 and 2. 83 is going to clear the 97, and now they'll battle for 3rd off of 1 and 2.
As these guys go off into corner number 3, let's get some sights and sounds of the Phoenix International Raceway with the NASCAR iRacing.com Pro Series.
looks like we're going to have an caution on the racetrack here tonight, guys. Someone went around to 3 and 4. Might have been that 28 car, Jeremy Allen. Not sure. See some damage in the left rear. Going to come back right here. Not going to be the 28. 51 again. Second time tonight we've seen that 51 get involved in an accident. Oh, 13 slides up the track. Oh, wow. Yeah, Juka. That's the battle for the 20th position. 19th and 20th. Juka. That 13 Glacier car gets really sideways in the bottom. Slides up into the 51's door and going to send the 51 for a wild ride through 3 and 4. So a 51, just a innocent victim right there. I think 13 had a little bit too much rear brake and it just got sideways and unfortunately collected the 51 right there.
And now we're starting to see battle scars on a lot of these race cars as Chad Lawton in the number 26 remains out on the racetrack. Patrick Fogel's got damage, I believe, on at least 3 of the 4 corners of this race car that he's running here after a couple of cautions. A lot of these drivers at the back, same situations. They've been dodging wrecks, and a lot of those cars with bent-up sheet metal or bent-up virtual sheet metal onto pit road now. Dakota, what are you seeing down there?
Mostly cars coming down, like you said, to try to fix the damage. A lot of guys are maybe going to stay down here as long as they can before everybody gets around to lap them. That's what they're doing. But Patrick Fogel leading them down after, or coming down after that wreck. He's going to take 4 tires, just to let you know.
Working our 6th caution here tonight, guys. As Dakota just mentioned, he just worked through the whole pit road sequence. Not too much is going to go on for the next couple laps. We're going to take another quick commercial break. Don't you go away. More racing from Phoenix after the break.
Welcome back to Phoenix, as your lucky dog will be heading around the field here as we work caution on lap number 61. Chad Lawton continues to be your leader. Jarrett Crawford, Dustin Montgomery, Carson Downs, Danny Hansen, your top 5.
Yeah, about 10 laps per caution period right now, Tim. So a lot of short runs for these guys. You know, going into tonight, you knew that there was going to be a very high possibility that you're going to have a lot of short runs, and looks like the top 5 definitely have mastered the short run cars. Look at the top 10. I mean, a lot of good cars up front right now. Lawton leading, he's been strong. Crawford his teammate, Montgomery's teammate. The 2 J-Shuck cars 4th and 5th. O'Keefe 6th. Kashiba 7th. Brandon Schmidt, good run for him. He needs it. Gonna be 8th. Peter Bennett, another good run, 9th. And Matt Whitten rounding out the top 10. Chris Overland does get the wave around. He'll be back on the lead laps at 47. He's down, but he's most certainly not out right yet. You cannot kill that 47 car tonight, Tim. It seems like he keeps getting that thing fixed. Might be using some of that duct tape he buys from Menards.
And that puts us with 34 drivers on the lead lap of this race. We have Jarl Tynan 5 laps down, Rich Doucette 9 laps down on pit road. I believe everybody else in this race. Now Chambron's still on the racetrack as well, as is Duval. So there's a lot of drivers that are multiple laps down, double-digit lap totals down from the leader, and they're still on the racetrack trying to pick up points. That's how big this series is and these points in this championship are. The first racing Ford Mustang pace car heads to the infield here, and Chad Lawton in control of the field brings him down a little bit slower. Green flag flies. He is gone. The 8 is now looking at position number 2 as the 83 of Crawford will try to maintain that position.
Yeah, Crawford spins away through 1 and 2 right there. The battle is going to be for third. 97 on the outside, 8 on the bottom. Go side by side to the dog leg one more time. Down to 3 and 4, side by side, 2 rows deep right now. 8 is going to get a little bit loose right there. Let's try to slide up into that 97. We've seen one car already do that to the 97. Oh, he's going to do a little bit of a slide job right there. Now the battle's going to be behind them. Tim, Danny Hansen trying to hold on onto the bottom right there. You got Kenneth O'Keefe on the outside of him. Kenneth's got a nice run on the top. Danny gets a nice run on the bottom. He's just about going to clear. I'm not quite going to get him into 3 right here. 73 slides in front of the 32. A little bit of a block into the corner. Defensive driving. 32 drives it down in there. Now he's got pressure from the 8. And looks like a little bit outside the top 10, Tim. We've got Jake Sturgis taking the spot from the 69 of Matt Whitten. Adam Gilliland on the top right there. Midwit's back there as well. So good racing right outside the top 10.
And a great run for Paul Kashiba just inside the top 10 at 7th place right now, as he has the advantage right now as he continues to try to get back up through this field. But you mentioned just outside this top 10, around Richie Davidowitz in the 25, Matt Whitten in 11th place right now in the number 69. They're battling pretty hard for a spot here as they come up off corner number 4 with Davidowitz trying to take the spot.
Yeah, Whitten is not employing the Schmidt strategy. That would be staying in the back of the race, let them all wreck, and then go up to the front. Whitten is up here. He's mixing it up tight. Looking good so far with that 69. Losing a couple positions. I believe he's on older left side tires as he blinks up a little bit right there. So that's why I think he's falling back. But when he put him on equal tires with everyone else, I think that 69 will start to pick off some positions. Single fall right now all the way through your top 15. Cautions out for the 7th time tonight. Try to find out who that was.
80 is around backwards. The 17, the 15 also involved heavy damage for the Sea Giraffe of Josh Connors in corners 3 and 4, and we back up the replay multi-car incident, but I believe the 17 is where it starts.
Yeah, Bookberger overcorrected into 3, and wow, they just all piled in after that. Chambrone, I believe, involved. 15 of Connors, Gatula, Allen also involved. Vinny Sansone getting the brunt of that impact. Brandon Bookberger right there, all F4ing. Can't be that. That'll be suspension possibly next week. So a lot of cars involved in that, Tim. And that's going to add to this attrition rate. Now you're going to probably only have about maybe 32, 31 cars running after that damage.
So the leader continues to be the 26 of Chad Lawton, and it's easy to rack up these laps led and rack up the possible bonus point for leading the most laps when the laps are run under caution. And, of course, you being the leader, controlling the restarts, it's pretty easy to get out and lead some of these laps, especially if the caution's coming out with 3 laps later.
Yeah, I mean, Lawton is in the best case scenario right now. He can just control the restarts, get down into the corner, lead a couple corners, side the caution map, boom, more laps led. Keeps going like this, Lawton will clinch that 1 extra bonus point for leading the most laps. He's already got 1 for leading a lap. That's 2 right there. He can get a couple more if he wins this race. That 26 right now, Tim, that car looks pretty darn good. I think his closest competition is Joey Brown, but Brown mired back in the 15th position. And, all that stuff that's going on back there at 12 car is really in a vulnerable spot. So if he gets involved in anything, it's going to be Lawton's to lose, I think. Crawford's strong, Montgomery's strong, but that 26 looks like he's got a little bit of an edge on these guys so far. And I think that goes back to his NASCAR 2003 racing. He did a lot of that before he came on iRacing. In NASCAR 2003, there's a lot of driver involved as far as making the tires wear or not wear. I think Lawton's using some of that philosophy tonight, and he's really keeping the tires under him, doing a great job on that 26 car, which is why he's leading right now. He's been up front for the majority of the race.
And you look at a lot of these drivers up in front. These are the drivers that will be battling for that points championship. But we mentioned the bubble earlier as well. Connor's big hit there is likely going to drop him either outside the bubble or barely inside that top 25. And we talked about guys earlier that are dodging bullets. There's a lot of drivers here that really need to be concerned at this point of the season. We talk about it only being race 3, but it's a 10-race series. Your best 9 races count. If you're back there around that top 25 bubble and you continue to have issues each week, you have to really be concerned.
Yeah, I mean, luckily I've never been in that position before. I've always been lucky enough to get off to pretty decent starts in the Pro Series in the NISWC. But I've had teammates that have been back there in the bubble. I've had teammates that have barely missed it. I've had teammates that have barely made it. It's very stressful. It weighs on your mind the whole week, and it really takes away, it kind of distracts you from just driving the car, going out there driving the car and doing the best to your ability. So guys like Connors, guys like Lawton, like Malone, Ackley, Busa, those kind of guys that haven't gotten off to the best of starts, they really have a lot of stress weighing down on them right now. But one guy that's gotten a little bit of luck on his side right now, Jarl Tyne, he's going to get the wave around. So Jarl is going to go back to, I believe he's going to be 4 laps down now, maybe 3 when he crosses the line. We'll have to wait for timing and scoring update, but still Jarl can go 4. Long way to go before he gets back in the lead lap, but the way they're going, Tim, you can possibly get a couple more wave rounds, he'll be right back up there.
Well, the way it looks right now, Connor's not on the track. Sansone is 1 lap down and on pit road. He's going to be 2 laps down here because the pace car just passes him. Gatula not on the track. Brendan Bookberger not on the track. So it looks like Jarl could very well end up getting a lap or 2 back more if Sansone stays on pit road getting damage repaired. Sansone just rolls as I say that. So Sansone will be in that lucky dog spot, given that nobody else goes a lap down here, as your leader will take the green flag this time by Chad Lott, Jarrett Crawford, side by side as they form up behind the pace car down the back straight.
I mean, pretty difficult top 5 right now, Tim. A lot of guys that we picked in fantasy are up there. My pick Lawton up in first, your pick Crawford up in second. Again, Montgomery up there, Hansen up there. So it looks like we're doing pretty well so far. On the other hand, Dakota, well, we won't mention that. It's pretty bad. But they're in a pace car is going to turn off right here. Lawton's going to bring him down one more time. Here we go. Lawton away. 83 is going to get on the hammer as well. He's going to fall back about 2 spots behind. And they race down into turn 1 and 2. Side by side for third. Montgomery's going to try to take it away from the 97. But again, that top line gets a nice run off these corners. They're going to stay even with each other. Hansen's going to look as well. This is the raciest I've seen that 78 restart. We were 73 into the back, 78 into the corner. He's going to send it in there a little deeper than I think he wanted to. Still side by side for third. Montgomery's going to clear him. The 2 Pro Geek twin cars are going to go side by side now into 1 and 2.
And that 73 keeping them honest as well. You mentioned pushing that number 78 into the corner, now just behind the 73, 32 and 3. Side by side, Brandon Schmidt looking to pick up a spot, and Peter Bennett is starting to make his way a little further up into the top 10 as he sits in 9th place. Check that, it'll be 10th place now as Sturgis goes around him on the outside line. Now Sturgis will try to find a place in the line. Will Peter Bennett let him in the line? I believe he will. It will stack up though. Here comes Gilliland to the inside in the 81.
Giller on the bottom right there in that 81 car. He's going to try to pick up the spot and check up off the corner. 31 cut the 41. Some slack right there. Unfortunately, it looks like he's going to lose a position because of it. Down into 3 and 4. Gilliland still going to hold that bottom. Bennett holding strong up top. Pinching down. Bennett's going to get a nice run off the corner in that 31 car. Side by side still down the front stretch. Those cars look really even right now. Battling hard for that 10th position. Bennett edges ahead and they will continue racing throughout the lap.
Closest battle within your top 10 right now is this battle for 10th, Peter Bennett and Adam Gilliland, as Bennett will take the spot for the time being over the number 81 car of Gilliland, and one driver starting to move his way to the front. Look at that 53 back there, Jeremy Thornton, methodically making his way back up to the front.
Yeah, it's one of those drivers so far this season, Tim, that has showed speed. He showed a lot of speed, especially Daytona. Him and his teammate Matt Moose really stuck up the show there for a little while in the beginning portions of it. Fortunately hasn't had any results to show for it, whether it be engine problems, accidents, or just circumstances that they really couldn't control. 53 car hasn't been up where he belonged. Brandon Bookberger is going to get out of the server for the final time here tonight. Like I said, might not see him next week. Depends on how the officials feel. Side by side into 1 and 2. Davidowitz on the bottom. Good rebound for Davidowitz. He's trying to take over the 12th position from Thornton. They battle side by side still ahead. They're going to single file that out. 25 down the back stretch from the dog leg into 3. 25 going to send it down in there, Tim. holding a pretty wheel on the bottom. Ooh, they're going to get tight right there. It's going to get really tight through 3 and 4. They're going to keep it off of each other and going to go side by side for one more corner.
Great run for the 53 and 25 as they go down into corner number 1. The 25 to the inside, 53 to the outside as the 12 car, after starting at the rear following a speeding penalty on pit road, he's starting to show his cards. He not only can drive in clean air, he can drive in traffic as well. Joey Brown starting to move up. He currently sits in position number 14, and he has 2 more strong competitors ahead of him.
Okay, pulled up right back of the 25 to the center right there. Cut the center really well. Had to check up, keep off the back of that 25. So he's going to fall about car length back. He's going to get a nice run through the center 1-2 right here. Close right back up. Looks like the 12 though. Jim does not have to drive off with clean air. Again, that's just basically the dirty air. It's affecting that 12 car in front where he cannot get the power down as much as he could out front. He stuck Chad Lawton back here. You probably have the same problems. Dirty air. Even at a slow speed, non-aerodynamic short track, it still can really screw you up when you're back in traffic.
14 and 50 are battling hard for a spot. The 75 of Landon Huffman just in front of this battle. And then you mentioned Josh Lawton back here in dirty air. He's now on the outside of the 77 of Andrew Fayash III. And this is a pretty exciting battle back here around 20th place, as it looks like the 50 may have barely got into the wall there going into corner number 3.
Yeah, Crone and Moose going to go side by side right there, getting real tight on the entry right there. Josh Lawton back there as well. He's got a little bit of damage on the front end, nothing too bad though. They kind of bang doors down the front stretch of Crone, trying to get around the 50. They send it in there, holding each other really tight. Ooh, someone got really loose up there. Might have been Malone. Oh. Up and hang on to it. There you go. Oh, they're still not done. Hang on, everybody. There you go. Y'all got it. They're going to straighten it out, Tim. Someone got really loose up there. So a lot of tires smoke, and somehow, somewhere, they all saved it. And they're going to keep going 81 laps into this thing.
Yeah, we remain under the green flag. Great save there by Landon Huffman to keep it from spinning around as the 40 is now underneath the 50. Josh Lawton trying to pick up the spot on Matthew Moose. That is the battle for position number 20 right now. Your leader continues to be Chad Lawton, out in front by 0.2 of a second over Jared Crawford. This is an exciting battle back here around 20th though.
Yeah, they're really getting tight. Oh, fast. Get off the apron. There you go. Fast is trying to get around the 52. And the 50 car, Matt Moose, got on the apron. Hang on to it. These cars are driving like junk back here, Tim. And you can just see they have no drive up off these corners. They are sideways.
And there's not a lot of these guys can do right now other than try to ride a little bit and pick up those positions when they can. They have a handful, as we've seen, compared to those guys like Chad Lawton and Jared Crawford making it look easy out in front. Big slide for Fayash in the 77. Rob Ackley making his way up in the number 22 underneath Matthew Moose trying to pick up a spot.
And as these guys race back here, just to give you a little bit of a comparison at home, 27.98 for Matt Moose, leader Chad Lawton at 27.49. It's almost a half a second difference for these guys. They keep racing like that. You know, they're going to end up going a lap down before this race is over, so they got to get single filed out and try to start to make up some time. Lawton has a torrent pace up here. They cannot lose too much time, or else they're going to be a lap car pretty darn soon.
Was looking back here at the 12 car, Joey Brown making his way back up through the field as the 75 of Landon Huffman is slow, and I believe that will bring up the caution flag, and he might be just slightly towed out in the 75. He may have hit the wall, and I believe he did as he went down into corner number 3. We've seen it before here with him having some issues trying to hold that car, and he gets up into the fence after a spin.
Oh, wow. He almost took Juka. He's going to pancake the driver's side of that car into the wall. Just a little bit too much rear brake once again. He's going to self-spin into the corner. Makes a decent save, though, to not have any more damage. When he hooked it back up right, though, I was for sure thought that 13 was going to be unlucky. 13 right there. I thought he was going to get him in the left rear, but he didn't. Missed him by a little bit. 75 is going to keep on trucking right here. The last car in the lead lap in 30th place. So again, Huffman, another bubble driver, does not need this kind of run tonight. He needs to really start getting going. As we're over halfway through this race, he's got to start to make something happen.
And here comes the field onto pit road. Dakota, get ready. They're all coming towards you.
Hearing once again, 4 tires and fuel to call for almost everybody. I don't think you can see a whole lot of strategy right now because we're coming to the closing laps. Really, right now, everybody wants to take 4, so that if need be, they can take 2 next time. It's going to be interesting to see who wins the battle on pit road, guys.
26 and 83 racing down towards their stalls as Chad Lawton is going to take at least 2 right side tires. Looks like right sides for most of these drivers up in front is the 69. I believe he may have taken either fuel only or missed his box because he's already down and away. As here comes the 12 of Joey Brown. Brown will win the race off pit road.
Yeah, strategy for Brown for the second week in a row to try to get track position. It seems like he's trying to play the role of that 2 team in the real NASCAR Sprint Cup Series, trying to do strategy to get up there and make positions. And I tell you what, Tim, he did that last week. Now, a lot different tire, a lot different track, a lot different circumstances. But, you know, he's got track position now. He's got one of the fastest cars on the track. Let's see what he can do in 2 tires here. You know, the left sides are a little bit old, but Joey's a good driver as long as he doesn't spin the tires on the restart, which definitely could happen with old left side tires. I think he could definitely make something happen here. So, gutsy move by the 12, but it could pay off here.
96 comes down pit road. A lot of heavy damage to that car, but we talked about it before, and I do believe this time by, or this caution by, Jarl Tynan will once again be your lucky dog, so he will be 3 laps down. He's starting to click off those laps, and by the time this race is over, we mentioned we have still half the race to go. Jarl might be back on the lead lap.
Definitely so. I'm trying to see what happened to Matt Witten right here. The car that did not pit. A lot of... oh, yeah. Oh, wow. Witten in 69. Huge check up in the back. Geist gets involved in that. Malone gets involved. When they're coming up pit road, they all brake checked each other, and that 69 car's got some cosmetic damage right now. Saw him stay out. We'll see if he pits this time by. I'd have to imagine he will try to get the damage fixed, get 4 tires on that thing. Nope. He's going to bypass pit road, Tim, since 69, trying to stay out here, pull a little bit gutsier strategy than that 12. Now, I'm not sure if this can work out. It's over 30-something laps on those tires. Now, a lot of them were caution flag laps, Tim, but a lot of heat cycles on those tires. That 69 isn't going to get going too well here on the restart. They're pretty slow with those tires.
And he's going to have at least a lap and a half to think about what's going to go on here, as Jarl Tynan will receive the free pass, and he will be back 3 laps behind the pace, as here he comes behind the field, passes the pace car, and he will be back 3 laps down to the field. And it looks like Brandon Cattell is shown as 1 lap down now in the 14, so Jarl might need to do some work or hope for Cattell to fall a couple more laps down for him to get a couple of more free passes here right away.
Definitely so. Definitely need some luck for that Jarl machine. Need luck for a lot of these guys back here that are a lap down. Like you said, Brandon Cattell a lap down for whatever reason. Must have had a bad pit stop. Maybe had to fix some damage, but something happened with that 14 where he is not on the lead lap anymore. I'm really laughing up here, Tim. I look at the back of the 69 car. You see the spoiler really bent up in the right rear, or actually in the left rear, up in the air. Joey Brown's got nose damage. You see Chad Lawton's got some right front damage. I mean, everyone's got some battle scars so far, Tim. It's just a matter of who's got more than the other right now. I mean, been a really tough race. A lot of beating and banging up front, a lot of beating and banging in the middle, but a lot of these guys up front still in enough of a piece, Tim, to kind of continue on here. But Matt Witten, our leader, he's got a ton of damage all around that car.
We'll see how it shakes out here. Matt Witten is your leader with Joey Brown running in position number 2. Chad Lawton, Jared Crawford, Carson Downs, top 5. Kenneth O'Keefe, Paul Kashiba runs in position number 7. Dustin Montgomery, Danny Hansen, and Jake Sturgis, your top 10. What will happen here with Matt Witten? You see the damage on that race car. He did not pit. Can he hold with the rest of the drivers? Joey Brown has 2 tires on his car on the right-hand side, new tires. We'll see what he can do with those here. Pace car in. Green flag set to fly. Witten bringing him down slow. Here he goes. Green flag flies. He's going to stack everybody up on the inside line.
Yeah, they stack up back there, and actually it's not going to be too bad for everyone. Looks like everyone's going to get away okay. 3 cars got a little bit of rear damage. 31's got a little bit of front damage there. 32 really has to check up off the corner. Caution's out one more time. 47 again around Chris Overland, and now he's out of the server. Wow. Oh, wow. Huge hook again. So Duvall gets hooked earlier on in the race. Now the 47 gets hooked. And 47, Chris Overland's going to park it.
And you look at that. The 42 comes up. Looks like everybody was getting ready for the restart. Duvall gets on the hammer a little bit earlier than Overland. Overland has to try to avoid. I don't think he saw the 42 coming. 42 has to put on the binders. He gets up into the wall, and then the thing shoots hard left. Was that him getting on the brakes, or was it could very well maybe a little bit of emotion coming into play there with that left-hand turn?
Yeah, I'm not really sure why he would take it out in the 47 car, but again, yeah, 42 has not had a good night so far. Oh, excuse me. And yeah, it's really gonna hurt both of their nights. 42, Dylan Duvall. I believe he came in here 4th in the standings. Tim, I'm gonna look right here. Yeah, P4 in the standings for Duvall, 5th for Overland, 6th for Doucette. So 4th, 5th, and 6th have already had problems tonight, so that's gonna open the door for Jared Crawford, Adam Gilliland, Brandon. Well, not Brandon Cantell. He's had a bad night too, but a lot of these guys up here behind him really have a lot of points on the table to gain. So with the problems with those 3 drivers up there, we could definitely see a shakeup in the top end of the points here after tonight's race. And like I said, Chris Overland is going to retire at this point. David Schildhaus, he's going to leave on the hauler with his driver as well. So tough night for the 47 crew. Like I said, Chris is going to get away for a little while, and hopefully he'll come back in a couple weeks' time or next week time, whenever he comes back with a clear head, and he'll get back going again.
And you look at Brandon Cattell, I don't think his night is over. He should receive the free pass on this caution, get him back on the lead lap. If he has damage, he still should be able to salvage maybe a top 20 finish with the way this race is going, a little bit of attrition coming into play here. So I don't think this is over for the number 14.
No, not over by any means. I mean, the 47 was pretty much into everything but the pace car tonight. And he was still in the top 25 at times, so 14 cars got a lot less damage. We've seen Cattell be a pinball, not of his own doing, the past couple weeks, as I believe he just missed his pit stall. And he's been able to salvage finishes, so we'll see what can happen for Cattell. He missed his pit stall right there indeed, so he's going to come back around, try to get the tires in that car, fix the damage. But Cattell, not out of it, but he does not have a lot of time to get back into it. We're going to be on lap 94, coming to lap 95. So we got 156 laps here tonight, so we're almost to 50 to go. About 20 laps will be to 50 to go. Cattell will get the wave by.
Yeah, Cattell's going to get this wave around here, put him back on the lead lap. 29 cars are on the lead lap, and then we look at Jarl Tynan, the next driver that's laps down. He's 3 laps down, as I believe he's going to come down pit road here and maybe get some more damage repaired. Doucette still on the racetrack, 13 laps down. Sansone still on the racetrack, and I believe that is the end of the draw. Dylan Duvall is still out there. I believe Alex Chambron's still out there, and that'll be the end of it. But we have one driver out there 36 laps down. We have one driver out there that's 27 laps down, and you know, looking back at that incident, you had a lead lap car and a car that was 27 laps down involved in that wreck. I don't know if that'll play into what the iRacing officials see, but you sometimes have to think about stuff like that.
Yeah, unfortunately, I believe that's going to be a big 8-point penalty for the 42 car going into the race at Homestead next week. Again, another driver. I don't believe he accumulated any points last week, but again, if he did, he will be parked next week. Same deal at Bookburger. You know, if you get 8 points, you're really in trouble for the next week if you already had any points. Pace car is going to shut the lights off. It's not by working lap 96. Matt Whitten is the leader. Joey Brown up and down tonight, just like last week. He's going to restart second. Chad Locker's dominated so far in third. His teammate Crawford fourth. O'Keefe fifth. That's Carson Downs with the dented in left side there. That's sixth. Dustin Montgomery seventh. Jake Sturgis eighth. Paul Kashiba ninth. Rounding out your top 10. Adam Gilliland with a solid run tonight, trying to look to pick up some points positions as the night goes on.
So after opening this race with some green flag laps, we've seen a lot of cautions here. We'll see if these guys can pick up the pace in these final 60 laps and maybe put some green flag running into this race, as Matt Whitten going to lead this field down to the green flag. The 12 of Joey Brown in second. Third is Jared Crawford. Or third is Chad Lott, Jared Crawford. Fourth, Kenneth O'Keefe. Fifth, pace car in. Here comes the 69. When's he going to go? He goes right here. Green flag flies as the 69 of Matt Whitten going to lead them down to corner number 1.
A little bit of a stack from the top. Oh, Joey Brown way out of the group right there. Got a shot from the 83. They're going to go 3 wide. Not going to be a lot of room right here. Oh, it's going to get... Oh! Oh, it's getting really close right there. Oh, ho, ho, they make it. Really good driving right there. 69 is falling like a rock. But behind that, that's a wad of cars right there. 12 got punted into the corner from Crawford, missed the corner. Ooh, hang on a bit. And they almost wadded it up to the dog leg. Not a lot of room for those guys to be doing that.
69 and 12 now on the outside line. 12 trying to make it 3 wide to try to get around this number 69 car, as the 12 of Joey Brown looks to possibly make a 3 wide move here. He's getting impatient, I believe, behind the 69 here.
Yeah, 69 is... oh boy, oh, we're getting close. Wow, oh, 12 in the wall, so he's going to get a piece of the wall. 69 is going to sprint away for at least one more corner. Oh, where are you going, Jake? Oh, hang on a minute, Jake. And they're going to continue on. 3 wide still. Oh, there he goes. Round around. Oh, he's going to come up in front of the field. Oh, it's not going to be good. Oh, wow. Oh, huge wreck back there. Duke lining around. And a lot of cars involved with that. And Joey Brown, his night, I believe, is going to be officially over now, Tim.
Yeah, it looks like Yuga is an innocent bystander in this one, as he was by that wreck. Got into the wall a little bit through the dog leg with the 51 of Patrick Fogel. I believe he's trying to slow down for the wreck, and he may have had a little bit of contact with Davidowitz after going through the grass, and he's going to get up into the 13. But Brown, lucky that he was didn't get any more damage than he did from that wreck. Flat spot in the tires, maybe, going around on that one after a little bit of contact between he and Dustin Montgomery to bring out the caution.
Did he seriously not get hit after all that? I thought for sure he was going to get pinballed. I'm looking at that one more time. Oh, man. I can't believe that. He's the luckiest son of a gun I've ever seen, man. That's crazy, getting split at Phoenix when there's absolutely no room to split anyone. And wow, no damage in the 12. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. Yeah, we're on lap 100, everybody. 57 to go. Make that 56 to go this time by. So the race is winding down really quick right here. Before we get back going to green, we're going to take one more quick commercial break. Don't you go back. We'll be back with the last 50 laps from round 3 at Phoenix in the NASCAR Iracing Pro Series.
Welcome back to the Phoenix International Raceway and round number 3 of the NASCAR iRacing.com Pro Series. Your leader is Chad Lawton, Kenneth O'Keefe in second, Jared Crawford third, Carson Downs fourth, and completing your top 5 is Matt Witten. Jarl Tynan receives the free pass again, and he will be back to 2 laps behind the pace. This time by, lights should be off, and we'll be going racing next time by.
Yeah, we're going to be coming down to about 52 laps to go when we get green here. That'll be on lap 105. So we're on caution 10. No, we're not on lap 10. We're on caution 10, and we'll see how many more cautions we get between now and the end of this race, guys. I mean, it's been a race of attrition, a lot different from last week at Texas, where we had a lot of long green flag runs. Sure, we'll get back to that next week at Homestead, but a lot of short track tempers flaring this race. A lot of people beating and banging on each other, and I'm sure we're not done yet. You got guys like Kenneth O'Keefe up there, he's aggressive. Matt Witten's aggressive. Thornton is very aggressive. Kashiba, a lot of aggressive drivers up there that are hungry for wins and points, Tim. So I'm going to bring us back down to this restart here. Like I said, we're going to have 52 to green.
52 remaining here as the pace car set to head off. The racing on these restarts has been exciting. I'm sure we're going to see another one here. Pace car in, Chad Lawton in control. Green flag flies. Kenneth O'Keefe to the outside. He has to look back and see Jared Crawford to the inside.
Yeah, nice start for O'Keefe up there. He held his own on the top. He's going to clear the 83 off the corner. Uh-oh. Oh, there goes Downs. Oh, Downs. Oh, God. Caution's out.
Big wreck for Carson Downs in the number 97 as he gets airborne, and it's a tough ride for the number 97, especially after running so well in this race after starting on the pole. But I guess if you're going to go out, you're going to go out in a blaze of glory, right?
Well, I know Carson didn't want to wreck, but if he was going to wreck him, I'm sure he would have wanted to do it like that. That's just, oh my. When John gets this thing queued up, that was pretty cool, I have to say. That was like a half flip, Tim, and then he landed right on his roof and just slid right back up in front of everyone. And I got ping-ponged around a little bit more, and almost came back up and hit his teammate Anson to make a nice swerve around him to not hit him again. But Carson, unfortunately, is dead after that.
Kind of reminds me of the Harrison Weidlitz wreck last season in this race of the Pro Series. And behind this wreck, the 77 of Andrew Fash and the 28 of Jeremy Allen get into it. And I'm not quite sure what Jeremy Allen's thinking. He just dumps the 77 of Andrew Fash, the third coming off of corner number 2. So tough break for the 77 of Andrew Fash as he's battling for the top 25 in this series. So we've seen Allen before not use the brake pedal or the throttle pedal, so we're not sure what's going on there. With the 77 gets dumped off too behind the wreck, and actually the 28's going to dump the 31 too going through that wreck, so we might want to get a camera on that too, John. 28 gets 2 for 1.
Yeah, if Nim was here, he'd say it was 3 for 1, Tim, but no, it was only 2 for 1. I'm sure Allen wouldn't have minded 3 for 1, but that's 2 for 1 in that one. Didn't want to lift. I'm sure the officials will look at that and fine him accordingly. Might not see him back next week after that. But after that, we kind of missed this. Kenneth O'Keefe, wow, he did not check up, did he? Kenneth O'Keefe really slapped the wall hard. Danny Hansen did get some damage, I believe, from the flipped over Pro Geek car. So a couple cars with damage up there, but no one got damaged like that 97. That's it's very hard to do that, and Carson did it. But the 77 has some damage after that. Peter Bennett has some damage as well. Ooh, the 40 almost got turned after the fact too. So a lot of guys just trying to stop or not stop, and it almost got uglier than it really was.
Yeah, there's a couple of guys that Crawford and O'Keefe have to be collecting their breath after that wreck. They almost were a bigger part of that incident as they were going hard at it. And you look at a lot of these guys, and we talked about the restarts being exciting and being intense. It's when you pick up the most positions, and we've seen it here. How about the 41? 41 is in position number 4. Jake Sturgis, he's won a race in the NASCAR iRacing.com Series World Championship before. We're coming down to the last third of this race. 41 might be one to watch up here.
Sturgis has been good all night long, Tim, and he's been making moves on the outside, on the inside, on restarts, on long runs. So Sturgis has definitely been good in this Pro Series. He is a road DWC driver over on that side of things. I believe he finished on the podium this year with that stuff, so congrats to him on that. And he's trying to get back into this oval, into the oval swing of things, and he's done a great job the first couple races, showing a lot of speed, a lot more speed than I've seen out of him in quite some time. So that 41 INEX Chevy is doing a great job so far during this season, and tonight is no different as he runs in P4. Witten in third. That car's pretty mangled. He got through that wreck nicely, so 69 getting some track position after that, back up to the third position as we work caution number 11. We're going to go back to green on lap 111, Tim.
So we get ready to see the green flag once again. Chad Lawton is your leader with Jared Crawford in second, Matt Witten in third, Sturgis in fourth, and O'Keefe in fifth. A little bit of a change up there within the top 10 as well. Dustin Montgomery in sixth, Paul Kashiba seventh, Jeremy Thornton eighth, Adam Gilliland in ninth, and Josh Lawton completes your top 10. So this is going to get exciting here as these guys work down the back straightaway.
Yeah, and when we get going right here, we're gonna crank it up one more time. Pace car is gonna come off, and Westling's gonna crank up the sounds for the second time this race, and it's gonna be a nail biter here. A lot of good cars up front, and a lot of guys jockeying for positions. Pace car's gonna go off right there. Lawton's gonna put the pedal to the metal. There he goes. Crank it up on ETV Live, round 3 of the NIPS.
Car Brandon Cattell going to bring up the caution flag here, but we look back at the replay, Mike, he had some help to do so.
Yeah, that's been the story of his season so far. Oh, they all checked up in front of him. And, big 3 wide to the dog leg. That's for position number 19 back there. Oh, yeah, Hazard's gonna hit him in the door a little bit. 14 also came down too. A little bit of, I'd say it was a racing incident, but everyone's just checking up, not going anywhere, and unfortunately the 9 to 14 tangle, and the 14 really has some damage now. So that's 3 in a row for Cattell as far as wrecks. And I believe there's something pretty funny about that statistic. Before the season started, one of the people in the Iracing member forums put all of these guys' names into a random generator, and it predicted that Brandon Cattell would have the most incidents in this series. And lo and behold, 3 races in, Brandon Cattell has the most incidents. So maybe that random generator, Tim, had some logic to it.
I wonder who that picked as a champion, but it might be something to look at. But Cattell, keep in mind, he has the most incidents, or he might have the most incidents in this series so far, but it's not without showing a little bit of speed. You have to give Cattell a lot of credit. He's been up in front and showing these guys that he shouldn't be taken lightly in this 2012-2013 Pro Series.
Nah, he's a fast driver. Really, really fast, showing a lot of speed. Showed it at Daytona. Very fast with his drafting partner the whole race. And unfortunately, again, didn't get the finish he wanted last week. Didn't get the finish he wanted, and this week isn't going to get it as well. A lot of bent-up cars, Dakota. They're coming down pit road. What's happening down there?
Just to clarify, I just looked that up, and it did also pick that Cattell was supposed to win the championship, so kind of funny there. But coming down, trying to figure out who all is coming down. I'm actually not seeing many cars come down. I think the first one right here is going to be Alex Sambron, which would be Conti's C-Pick, I believe. So Conti's C-Pick not having a lot of luck today because he's been off and on pit road all day. Also, Gerald Tien coming down as well. Brandon Cattell, get damage fixed, all of them. So just rough days for these guys, pretty much.
And still out in front, though, we have guys like Chad Lawton, Jarrett Crawford. Dustin Montgomery's up there in 6. Kenneth O'Keefe is up there in position number 5. You got some guys up there that I don't think they've really shown their hand yet. And we're coming down to the final 50 laps, or in the final 50 laps. It'd be interesting to see what these guys can really prove in the last portion of this race.
Yeah, we can get some green flag racing. There's going to be a lot to prove. We're going to see who's really got the best car here tonight. Fortunately, we haven't been able to see that, and it's kind of sad. But again, coming into this, we did expect this, and we've been right on par, working caution number 12. So I believe that's right around the mark that the DWC had here back last season. Maybe Dakota can go look that up and tell us what the exact number was. But it's Phoenix Sim Racing, Racing Phoenix. You're going to have that.
There goes your lucky dog, Errol Tynan, and I believe this will be the lap that puts him back on the lead lap. So the 04 car, will be in position number 26 and should be scored as the final lead lap driver in this race. So Chad Lawton will lead this field back to green next time by the 83 of Jarrett Crawford to the outside. Now Jake Sturge is going to start on the inside in the number 41.
Sturge, just great run. Absolutely fantastic run for that 41 car. Still in 3rd position, Matt Witten back to 4th. Kenneth O'Keefe, a little bit of damage on the right side of the car, but he's going to be okay. Dustin Montgomery running well. Actually, does Montgomery have any damage? He might be the only clean car out there. I think he's got something somewhere. Looking around that car right now. A little bit on the right front, Tim, but that 8 car is still pretty clean. 32 car, Paul Kashiba, looking pretty nice as well. 53's got some damage on the right rear. Pretty much everyone behind that's got some damage somewhere. So, top 10, a lot of strong cars. Schmidt cars toward the back end of that with Gilliland and Schmidt. And up front, like I said, Chad Lawton. He's on his way to a dominating win right here. If he can just hold on to this thing for another 40 or so laps, he's got this thing in the bag. Will be win number 2, the 26 car on the season.
So Chad Lawton looking to lead this field back to the green flag. We'll see what he can do here on this restart, as Lawton going to put the hammer down here. Pace car will head to the safety of the infield, and Lawton in control in the 26. Here they come. Green flag flies. The 26 gets away quickly. 41 is Sturgis. Now looks at the 83 of Jarrett Crawford.
Oh, they almost struck in the back. It looked like Allen might have missed the shift back there. As they stacked up on the top, they're still getting really sideways. They're not done trying to wreck yet. Hang on to it, everybody. You can do it. Don't go 3 wide. There you go. Stay 2 wide. 2 by 2. Battle for 4th right now. Witten on the outside. O'Keefe to the bottom. Oh, it's going to be 3 wide through 3. Danny Henson trying to make up some lost ground. He's trying to get 2 for 1 right there. Get Schmidt in the top. Going to try to get Lawton on the bottom. Down to 1 and 2. That's a battle for the 10th and 11th place. Lawton back there with Hanson. Still side by side. They're in a single followed out right there. O'Keefe goes through to 4th. Witten still falling back with that mangled race car on the top. That's for 5th right now. Montgomery to the bottom. Witten on the outside. Hung up outside. Kashiba now going to try to get around him as well.
Here comes Kashiba to the inside of the number 69 of Witten. Witten trying to hold on to the spot. The 81 of Adam Gilliland trying there, as well as the 32 brushes up the racetrack a little bit. He will try to take the spot off corner number 2. Now 81 to the inside of the 69. Going to try to find a line into there, as the 81 will try to drive it into the corner and pick up the spot. 53 and the 40 also trying to follow him through.
Mind you, the 81 and the 69, they are teammates, although it doesn't really look like it right now. They're on the same team, and Gilliland's going to get through. Witten's still going to fall back. Witten back to the 9th position now. 53 can get through. 40's going to try to get through as well. 40 doesn't get up the corners at all. Here comes Hansen to the bottom of the 40. He's going to try to make his own groove on the grass. They send it down in there. That's the 78 car under the 40 for 11th position right there. He gets to the bottom of them. Actually, that's for 10th. To the bottom goes Hansen. He's going to get around. Now he's going to look at Witten as well into turn number 1.
32-81 continue to do battle for a spot as Chad Lawton continues to be out in front of your field right now. Your top 5, top 10 single filed as Josh Lawton and Danny Hansen go at it for position at number 10. Hansen on the inside, Lawton on the outside trying to get that run. The Progi Consulting Chevrolet Impala looking to clear him off corner number 4. Lawton staying there on the outside line though.
Hey, Hansen really wants to drive it in, try to slide up in front of him. He's got that 69 in front of him right there. Cannot do it. Gets a nice run through the center right there. He's almost going to clear him off at 2. And they have a nice, good run down the backstretch into 3. Hops the curve a little bit right there, down to 3. Side by side, once again, these guys are not giving an inch. Up the track goes Hansen. Going to try to get a run off the corner right here. Nice run. Oh, he's going to just about clear. Clears them. So clear for the 78. P10 for Hansen.
And he looks at the number 69 for the spot now in position number 9, just behind them, Davidowitz. Looking underneath Chad Lawton, or Josh Lawton, check that, for the spot as the 40 tries to hold on, the 25 to the inside, trying to bring the 3 along with him, 3:07.92 lined up too.
Yeah, big line at the bottom right there, Schmidt trying to get through. You got Crone, who we haven't seen really all night with a mangled front end, but he's going to try to get through as well. Hansen up to the 9th position, I believe, as he goes around Witten. Witten falling like a rock on those older tires. Really starting to show as we get somewhat of a run right here. Hansen pulls away in the 78. He's trying to catch up to the back of the 53. It's a big freight train in front of them. You got the 53, 81, the 32 Kashiba, Montgomery, O'Keefe. Sturgis running strong in 3rd. And still up front, it is Chad Lawton and Crawford who ace your field.
And knock on wood, we're starting to see a couple of green flag laps in here on lap 125 of 156. Brandon Schmidt to the inside at position number 11. Looking at Matt Witten as the core pipe car picks up 1 spot. Elwood Designs, the 07, looking to pick up 1 more on the 69 as Witten, the pit stop strategy gone wrong, starting to fall back a little bit here.
There comes Joey Brown. Brown got a nice run. He's just going to let him by. Almost said Schmidt. Witten. He's going to go 1 more spot back, maybe 2 more spots back. 92 going to go around him as well. So 69 Matt Witten falling back in a hurry right here on the old tires.
Once again, up in front, your leader continues to be Chad Lawton as Jared Crawford is now nearly a half second behind in the number 83 as Witten looks to come down to pit road now.
Head down to you, Dakota. 69 unscheduled pit stop.
I believe he's coming down to due to a lot of damage on the car. He did remember to take, I believe, fuel only 1 point or Mrs. Stahl, one or the other, and was damaged up front. He was also bounced around quite a bit up there. He might also be coming down thinking he is close on fuel right now, guys.
Lawton still leads the way. Looks like Crawford's starting to gain a little bit on him, Tim.
And a lot of these drivers getting single file, so we might see some green flag laps in here as the 81 of Adam Gilliland back here, closing in on Paul Kashiba. That is at position number 6. Great run for Gilliland as he begins to close in.
Yeah, Gilliland's starting to go in the right direction at the right time. That core pipe car looking at the back of the 32 right now. We're going to go on board with the 32. Look out the back of the 32. You can see a big bumper. 81 written all over 81 of Gilliland, looking real strong right here at the end of this race, trying to move into the 6th position as he gets right up to the back of the 32 entering 3 and 4.
81 looking up on that number 32 for position and number 6, and with some of these drivers having tough luck in the points picture, Adam Gilliland looking to gain, but that's not going to help it. Into the wall for the 81.
Yeah, he just pancaked that thing pretty bad. Might have knocked out the toe, but he's going to keep going right now. You never know, Tim, that might make him a little bit tighter, and at this track on old tires, that might not be that bad of a thing. So Gilliland still looking strong. Doesn't look like that cost him any speed as he gets real close to the wall again.
Trying to use every piece of real estate on this racetrack is the 81 of Adam Gilliland as he once again is the shadow to Paul Kashiba right now in the number 32 car. Lawton continues to lead with Crawford a half second back. Sturgis has put himself into 3rd. Kenneth O'Keefe is now trying to hold off Dustin Montgomery. O'Keefe trying to hold on to a top 5 finish.
O'Keefe still in the 4th position, really hanging it out through 3 and 4. Going to really kill the right rear if he keeps doing that. Montgomery all over him right now. We know Montgomery's got a great car. He's got his 2 teammates 1-2 right now. He's all over the back bumper of that 73 down into 1. He had a nice run through the center. going to come up off the corner. Look at that huge run up off the corner. Going to try to take it lower here. O'Keefe's going to put on a little bit of a block. He's going to leave the lane, though. 8 to the bottom. Oh, 8 to the bottom. Hang on a minute. And he's going to drop that in there. 73 is going to slide up that track. And Montgomery up to 4th. O'Keefe back to 5th.
And the battle behind continues to ensue as well, with Adam Gilliland trying to take that spot away from Paul Kashiba, as Gilliland tries to get in there and make a hole on Kashiba. And I got a half eye behind them as well. It looks like a 4-car train starting to make its way and battle for position number 8 on back.
Yeah, it looks like Danny is starting to close into the back of Thornton. That would be for the 7th position, a battle for 7th on back. You've got Danny Hansen, Richie Davidowitz, Josh Lawton, finally. At the end of one of these races, he's currently just outside the top 10 in 11th. Brandon Schmidt, 12th. Joey Brown, 13th. And the caution is out for the 13th time tonight. 75, Land Huffman for the 2nd time tonight. See, R.J. Williams is just disconnected, I believe. Him and Huffman might have been... oh, wow. Wow, that looks a little bit intentional right there. Off of turn number 4. No, maybe not. I'm sorry. I take that back. It looks like 75 just got up into the wall and Bennett had nowhere to go. And, oh, wow. Whoa, the hazard car, the 9, is going to blow up. 50 of Matt Moose, he's going to get involved as well. So, the pirouetting car of the 75 is going to get hit in all directions. And him and the spotter, R.J. Williams, are going to disconnect from the race. And they will park it for the night.
And looking at these wrecks, and we mentioned before, you get into a couple of wrecks, it might hurt your night, it might hurt your points night. You also might be suspended for the next week with the way the incident system is listed. We might see a lighter field, I believe, once we hit the next race on this schedule, because we talked about Landon Huffman. That's his 2nd wreck. It all depends how the officials see it, but he was involved in an earlier wreck as well, so it's going to be tough. We might see a lot of guys, if not on the cusp of being parked for a week, we might see a lot of guys not make the next race.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of penalties handed down after this one. A lot of penalties indeed. I think that's the best way to put it. A lot of guys getting into it tonight, and that's definitely going to result in some suspensions next week, Tim. We saw a 40-car field tonight. I think we'll probably be down around the 35 mark next week. But, you know, it seems like when the series start to get less cars, the racing actually gets a little bit better.
And, of course, you can tune in to next week's racing action here on ETV Live. And looking at that schedule upcoming, there's a lot of tracks here that could play some little bit of wild cards in here. Homestead, Miami, of course, is next week. Then you head to Pocono, Kentucky, Richmond, Dover, New Hampshire, and Charlotte to close off this schedule. So there's a diverse mix of tracks here in the NASCAR iRacing.com Pro Series.
Yeah, there's really a track everyone on here. If you like short tracks, you got Richmond, you have New Hampshire, which rumor is New Hampshire might be replaced by Rockingham. Not confirmed, but that's just a rumor, so we're going to keep our eye on that. But you have New Hampshire, you have Phoenix, you have Richmond. So if you like short tracks, you're doing good. If you like mile and a halves, you have places like Homestead, places like Texas. And if you like the odd tracks, you have Michigan, you have Pocono. And if you like a really grippy, fast mile and a half, you have Charlotte at the end of the season, the longest race of our season. So there's a little bit of everything for everybody, if you want to put it like that. And you know, Chad Lawton, we've seen him do well in the super speedways. We've seen him do well at the mile and a halves, and now again we see him doing well at the short track here tonight. Half Phoenix, that 26 car. He is really putting up a strong title fight early on in the season so far.
Looks like after getting dumped earlier in a previous wreck, Andrew Fash, the third, will receive the free pass, and he will be back on the lead lap. We should have another lap of caution before we do go back to green, or are they going to double them up here? No, it looks like they might double them up here, and we might be going back to green right away, as the 26 and 83 will once again line up on the front row.
I want John to put a camera on the 20th place car, Matt Moose, before we get going here. I know this is kind of random, but that is the cleanest looking car I can find in this whole field. Now, maybe beside, well, yeah, even cleaner than our leader, Chad Lawton. Great job to Matt Busa for keeping that car in one piece, and he's been in the middle of the pack the whole race. So, outstanding job with that 34 to keep all the fenders and quarter panels and doors and everything else on it. A couple cars pitted that last time by. Danny Hansen, Joey Brown, guys, about 15th on back, came in as well to get tires. Not a lot of laps left, Tim. It's ready to get to go time.
Less than 20 laps remaining. Lawton on the hammer. Green flag flies. Gilliland nearly thought about making it 3 wide in the middle. That's probably not a good decision. He backs out of it. Kenneth O'Keefe goes into the corner hard. Richie Davidowitz and Paul Kashiba to the outside. Here comes Josh Lawton. Lawton looking to make up a spot. Oh boy.
Yeah, about 3 wide back there for a couple seconds. Oh, Sturgis in the wall a little bit right there. Montgomery to the bottom. Battle for third. Montgomery on the bottom. Sturgis up top. Through 3 and 4 they go. Side by side. Oh, that was close. Montgomery's going to hang on. Oh, huge wreck in the back. That's going to bring out a 14th caution of the night. And it looks like Allen. Oh, Allen is dead. And Duval's going to push him out of the way, Tim. Duval's not having a good night.
Yeah, there's 2 drivers that aren't having a good night. Duval tried to slow up for it, but nowhere to go. But into the number 28 of Jeremy Allen. And looking back to see what brought that out, it looks like Philip Geis and the 53, I believe that should be Jeremy Thornton, got into it, and Jeremy Allen this time, nowhere to go. He got swept up in that one, so a tough break for him, and then he gets impacted by the 42 after the fact. And we mentioned before, Duval is 27, check that, 36 maybe laps down to your leader. So, caution flag flies again for the, as you mentioned, 14th time. And your leader continues to be Chad Lawton. I believe he's locked up the most laps led award here this evening, so he's looking to pick up a few more bonus points for winning this race.
Yeah, this is all Chad Lawton's race at this point. He's in the catbird seat. Looks like his windshield's getting a little bit dirty. Might need to take a tear off. Well, there's really no time to take a tear off, so that's going to be a problem. Going to have a little bit of sun glare off a turn 4. Might get in his eyes. That shouldn't hinder him to the point where he can't win this. But Crawford's been shadowing him the past couple of restarts. If Crawford can get a really, really good restart, they could go side by side into 1 and 2. It might be hard for Lawton to clear Crawford, but really been a strong performance tonight for the top 2. Really been up there the whole race. Haven't fell back really at all. So probably your 2 best cars tonight, maybe besides Joey Brown before he got into his problems, are the 26 and the 83. So looks like they're going to end up battling it out for the win here at the end.
And I don't think we've seen our last caution period this evening. I think with this restart we might see 1 more or possibly 2 more wrecks if they can fit it in to this 156 lap distance. Lawton, Crawford, Sturgis, Montgomery, Kashiba. Your top 5 now with O'Keefe, Gilliland, Davidowitz, Lawton, and Schmidt. Your top 10. We have 23 drivers on the lead lap, and I believe one of those drivers that's 1 lap down may get the Lucky Dog free pass here, so it should put 24 drivers on the lead lap in this race.
Yeah, Matt Witten, after making that unscheduled pit stop, or maybe scheduled, his car is pretty bad. He's going to get the wave around right here. He'll be back in the lead lap. So a 69 car. I don't know really how many positions he can make up in this short span of time here, but you know, it's better to be in the lead lap and have some sort of shot at it than none at all. So 69, Matt Witten back in the lead lap with about 15 laps to go.
So he's going to look to gain some positions here in the closing laps of this race. Could very well go to from 24th to maybe even within the top 15 before the race is over with the way the cautions have been falling here. So we close in on the final run to the checkers in this race. Chad Lawton trying to lock up his 2nd win of the season and really try to solidify himself as the point leader. And we mentioned before, there's a couple of question marks as to whether he can make the full season or not. But if you look at the top 2, and they were trying to establish themselves in the first 2 races as the 2 drivers to watch, Carson Downs is out of this race right now. And you look at your leader right now on this racetrack, leading the points. Chad Lawton's putting a season together here in the first 3 races at least. It's going to be hard to beat.
And Lawton hasn't been on iRacing that long, probably about maybe 10 months now. And he is a really strong driver. He's a good guy. I've had the pleasure to talk to him quite a bit in the last couple months, get to know him, and really stand-up guy, serves the country, and it's really nice to see someone like him go up there and really run strong and possibly grab another win here before the night is over. Pace car is going to lead him through 3 and 4, Tim. We're going to go back to green. Maybe for the last time, maybe not. We'll just have to wait and see.
1:44 will be completed when we come across the stripe. 12 laps remaining. Chad Lawton, Jared Crawford. Green flag flies. Lawton hard on the hammer. It's Crawford now trying to defend from Jake Sturgis. Sturgis to the inside.
Yeah, Sturgis really dove it in there. Got it. Yeah, he's going to get under the 83, Tim. Nice run to the center for 41. I don't know if he can do anything with him off. Actually, now he's going to have the 8 to the outside of him. 83 is going to clear him. Oh, Crawford's a little bit loose down there. 41 down to the center. So as they do that, 26 of Lawton is going to sprint away, and they still battle side by side for second.
Black flag, Paul Kashiba, lane change violation, so he will have to surrender what could have been a top 5 run. Come down onto pit road as he still runs under green, as we are side by side for position number 2, where we were side by side. Crawford clears Sturgis. Montgomery under fire from the 73.
Yeah, 73, Okie trying to pick up all he can while there's still some time left behind him. Davidowitz out of nowhere is up to the 6th position, so nice rebound for him tonight. Always seems to run well at the Phoenix International Raceway. Lawton is your leader still, about half a second over Jared Crawford, and pulling away. We're coming to 8 laps to go, make that 9 laps to go. When we come to start finish line, we got some lap traffic up ahead of Crawford. He's going to move out of the way. That's Jeremy Thornton in the purple car down there at the bottom. Battle right now on the track between Schmidt. Oh, 3 wide. Oh, Joey Brown sends it in there. Bold move by the 12. He's going to try to pick off 2 in one corner. Danny Hansen trying to get under the 07 as well. Hard racing right outside the top 10 right now. Actually, a little bit inside the top 10 too. It's about 10th to about 15th, 16th spot.
I don't know how Joey Brown made that corner without cleaning the clocks of the 2 above him as they went 3 wide. He picks up 1 spot, and now he continues to close in on Josh Lawton. That's the battle now for position number 9 as Joey Brown tries to pick up some points late in this race.
Yeah, Brown going to get a run through the center. Here he comes on the 40-40. Slipped way out of the groove right there. He's going to clear him into 3 and going to pull away. So that'll be the 8th position for the 12. So after spinning out in front of the pack. Oh, hang on to Brandon. After spinning out in front of the pack and not getting hit, Joey Brown is going to look like he's going to finish in the top 10. That's pretty outstanding.
73, 25, 81. That's the battle for the final top 5 spot in this event as Gilliland closes in on Davidowitz, and Davidowitz trying to take that top 5 spot away from Kenneth O'Keefe. This time by 1:50 complete. We have 6 laps remaining at the stripe for your leader, Chad Lawton.
Yeah, Lawton about 3/4 of a second out in front now. Pulled away by another 300s that time. Joey Brown, and he's trying to send it in there. A little bit too deep right there. Smoked the rear tires up, trying to keep it off the 81. That 12th car, Joey Brown, he is trying to get him in as many positions as he can. Fortunately, time is running out. As you can tell by his driving, he knows it.
Yeah, he's trying to get everything that he can, and he's throwing it in fairly aggressively on some of these drivers, but with the final couple of laps coming up, I don't think these drivers in front of him are going to lift or let up very easily, as Adam Gilliland is next up on the list, and we know he's not going to let a position go by easy, as he is now putting the pressure on Richie Davidowitz. Davidowitz now to the outside, one to the inside, trying to pick up that spot in the final closing laps.
Oh, Joey's going to get he's going to get really close to the 81 right there through the center. That 12 car really cuts the center better than anyone else. Where is he going to go? He's going to go to the top right here. He's going to try to get a run on that 81. Off the top side, 25 slips way high out of the groove. They're going to go 3 wide off the corner, make that 2 wide. Davidowitz back 2. Oh! Oh, no! Oh, now he's done. Oh, wow. That's it. Chad Lawton is your winner, and Joey Brown is now officially done.
And we saw this a little bit earlier in one of the earlier wrecks coming up off the corner. There's a car underneath there, Richie, as he gets into the right rear of the 12, and it's on from there, and that's, you have to feel for Joey Brown in that number 12 car. after having such a strong run coming up through the field. His night will finish outside the top 20 by the looks of it here.
That's really sad too. I mean, he drove from the back to the front, to the back, to the front, to the front, nope, to the back, to the front. And now he's in the back, and that's where he's going to stay. He'll probably finish around the 22nd position if he can keep rolling right here. Tough break for him. 2 weeks in a row, I think he had one of the better cars here tonight, and didn't really get to show it.
So this time by, we will have 2 laps remaining in this event, as Chad Lawton will take the 2 to go here. Derek Crawford, Jake Sturgis, Dustin Montgomery, Kenneth O'Keefe. Your top 5, unless something happens out of the ordinary in the last 2 laps to change that running order.
I mean, really nice job on the 26 car. Chad Lawton, can't say enough about him. Like I said before, I keep praising him, but really good driver. I mean, we're going to have to really watch out for him next year in the NISWC. I know I'll be keeping my eye on him. Ray better be keeping his eye on him too, because Ray Alfala has won 2 championships now in a row. There's a lot of guys, including myself and Chad as well, we'll all be gunning for him next season. And Lawton's going to be strong. If they can keep putting it together like this next season, it's going to be tough guy to beat. So, Kevin King in one of his interviews said that the results in pro don't really matter as much as a lot of people think, but they might matter this season because those 2 finishers up there, 1-2, those are going to be 2 strong competitors next year.
And I think you're going to see Dustin Montgomery be really quick as well. He's really turned up the wick here in the last couple of weeks. And while we're on the 1 to go lap, I will mention that my fantasy picks at the start of the night finished 2nd, 4th, and 5th. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, I was, mine actually won. And did mine win? No, who did I pick? Wait a minute, hang on. Yeah, I won. Yeah, I won. And where else did I say? Okay. Danny finished 10th. And Chambrone is in 32nd. So not a very consistent night, but a strong night in the top half.
How about consistency here? 29th with Landon Huffman. Let's see here. 36 with Josh Connors, and I can't remember who my third pick was anymore.
Doucette. Doucette's also junked as well back in the 26th position for Doucette. And the checker flag is out. And officially, Chad Lawton, the 26th, Gary Mercer car is your winner. Jared Crawford 2nd, Jake Sturgis 3rd, Dustin Montgomery 4th, Kenneth O'Keefe 5th. That's your top 5. Adam Gilliland 6th, David 7th, Joshua Lawton 8th, Brandon Schmidt 9th, Danny Hansen rounds out your top 10. Derek Cron 11th, Boost at 12th, Bennett, Moose, Ackley, Savalainen, Tyan, Witten, Geis, Fayash, top 20. Malone and Joey Brown, your last 2 cars running tonight, 23rd back, are all in the garage or many, many laps down.
And those include Cattell, Kashiba, Thornton, Doucette, Allen, Downs, Huffman, Hazard, Sansone, Chambrone, Duval, Fogel, Overland, Connors, Gatula, Bookberger, and Bias. Some of those I'm sure we will not see next week after the incident system comes down on them this week. Chad Lawton will let it up here on the front straightaway. His 2nd win of this NASCAR Iracing.com Pro Series. He's going to dent it up a little bit on the inside wall. I might as well make it square on the back end as he lights it up. We will go to break and set up for the post-race show where we will talk to the top 5 finishers. Don't go away.
Hey dude, are you ready to rock and roll? If that's cool, then you need to do it over at HD Radio Network. HD Radio Network, 4 stations broadcasting 24/7 with everything from metal favorites to the 80s classic rock like legendary Leonard Skinner, Electric Light Orchestra, Foreigner, and bone-rattling, skull-crushing rock and roll on hard-driving radio. Bear Factory, Stone Temple Pilots, Def Leppard, and a whole lot more. HDRadioNetwork.com. Take your pick and rock your brains out, dude.
Welcome back to the Tim's Corner Motorsports post-race show for round number 3 of the NASCAR Iracing.com Pro Series from Phoenix. Your winner is driver number 26, Chad Lawton, down in Victory Lane with Mike Conti.
Chad, you never cease to amaze me. An incredible run tonight, had a solid qualifying effort, and a dominating race performance. Now, granted, a lot of the race was under caution, but you, teammate Jared Crawford, and Dustin Montgomery as well, you guys all stayed up front throughout the race with pit strategy and doing the right things at the right time. Just walk me through your approach to this race, and were you expecting 15 cautions tonight?
Definitely wasn't expecting 15 cautions, but I knew it'd be similar to New Hampshire of DWC. It was so hard to pass, so I knew some people were going to force the issue. But that's three in a row for Willman, and man, we just we struggled all week. We practiced constantly, me, Jared, and Dustin, and Richard, and we just constantly did lap after laps after laps, trying to get something comfortable because the car either got too loose on the long run or too tight. And finally, Jared and Dustin hit on something either this morning or last night, and the set was just awesome. It was a fun, exciting race for me anyway, racing with Jared and Dustin up front.
Now, 3 races in, 2 wins under your belt. Your closest competitor, Carson Downs, violently flipping on the backstretch. Going into the next race at Homestead, Miami, being the points leader by quite a large margin now, are you thinking about top 25 anymore, or are you more thinking about the 2012 NIPS Championship?
Well, I mean, the championship, it'd be pretty cool to get, but the whole goal is to make DWC and be in the top 25. But we have a really, really, really good piece for Homestead, so I'm looking forward to Homestead as well. Just going to turn some laps, take a little break, not do as many as I did in Phoenix. But we're looking pretty solid for Homestead for sure.
Before I let you loose, Chad, just thank all the sponsors. I know Gary Mercer's on the car, or anyone else that you'd like to thank before you go.
Obviously, want to thank Gary Mercer Trucking, Brendan Mercer for the sponsorship here in the Pro Series. I want to thank Tim's Corner for sponsoring me. Got him on the side. And I want to thank JDR Graphics for painting my cars and you guys for putting on the show. Appreciate it.
That's your winner tonight at Phoenix, Chad Lawton, down to Tim Terry, who's caught up with his teammate, Jared Crawford.
Jared Crawford comes home in second, but very close there at the end. Walk us through those final couple of restarts.
First off, I just want to apologize to Kenneth O'Keefe and whoever got caught up, Carson Downs, in that melee off turn 2. I think I just came up into Kenneth. I didn't see the replay, but I'm sure a lot of cars got tore up. I just apologize to all those guys. But anyway, back to the last couple restarts. I felt like if we could have went green for more than 40 laps, I would have been a little better than Chad. But we were just so close on the short run, there was no way I would have been able to catch him, and even if I did, I would have never been able to pass him. It's just a product of this track, but all in all, it was a great race. I'd like to fire my entire pit crew for giving me 14-second stops every time, but I guess that's just the way it goes sometimes.
And you mentioned the 2 and 3 wide racing, those restarts. We saw a lot of them here this evening. Really hectic there trying to pick up those spots at the end.
Oh yeah, it got pretty crazy on them restarts. I didn't really know who would drive in how deep, and I just sailed it off into one as deep as I thought I could every time to make sure that I gave everyone behind me enough room so I wouldn't get run over. And it was just crazy. Them restarts, with 3 wide a couple times with Kenneth, that was pretty nuts, just bouncing off everybody.
We head to Homestead next week. Exciting racetrack there, different, of course, from the Phoenix International Raceway that we're at here tonight. What do we expect out of that race, and can you inch yourself closer to locking yourself into the Drivers' World Championship for 2013?
Oh yeah, well, like Chad said, we got a pretty good set for that track, and I'm not the greatest driver there, but I'm going to run a lot of laps this week and try to get my skills honed in, I guess, and I don't know. I just need to keep running like I am. I wanted to try to catch Chad in points, but if he's running first or second every week, that's going to be impossible. But I'm just looking forward to all these tracks. Looking forward to going to Pocono. It's probably one of my favorite tracks, and just looking forward to everywhere.
Who makes it happen for the 83 team each week?
Tim Terry and Tim's Corner Challenge makes it happen for me right now. Wheelman Inc. All the guys over there worked their asses off this week for a good set, and just looking for sponsorship on the front of the car. So if you need some advertising, I can get that done for you.
And there's Jared Crawford to be a good team to step on board with. Second place here this evening and inching closer to that point lead in the 83 car. We're going to kick it over to Dakota Ehrman, who has caught up with Jake Sturgis.
Yes, and I'm here with Jake, and Jake didn't have the luxury of starting in the top 5, starting in the top 10. 14th, he was barely in the top 15. Jake, you managed to finish 3rd, climbing up 11 spots. How'd you do it, bud?
A lot of luck. That first big wreck in turn 3, I just stopped, and there were cars spinning all around me. Somehow I didn't get hit by anyone, and I think I was in 14th at that point. I went all the way back to 29th, and restarted 20th after all the destroyed cars pitted, and then just kept driving, trying to hit the restarts right, and got really lucky on the backstretch when they all got together off of turn 2. I went around the outside and got up to 4th, and from the end I was just trying to ride.
What was your opinion on the racing towards the end? It was a lot of tough racing up there with Crawford, and all of them, everybody just hitting each other, all kinds of stuff going on up there.
Seemed pretty clean up front to me, but in the back I saw a couple dumb moves where people were sending it into the bottom in turn 3, and I did that in the A race and hit somebody, so I know how it goes, but it's not really the greatest track for racing.
And who makes it happen for you?
I'd like to thank the guys over at Lastro Motorsports, Joey Brown, Brendan Cattell, my brother PJ, Brandon Butchberger, Vinny Sansone, Peter Bennett, and Landon Huffman. Of course, a couple other guys, Nick Morse and Joe Holt.
And there you have it from your 3rd place finisher. I believe I'm passing the mic down to Michael Conti again.
Yeah, I caught up with Dustin Montgomery down here. Dustin, a 4th place finish following up your win last week at Texas. Strong run for you and your team tonight. Walk us through the race and how'd the car feel, and what'd you see out there from your point of view?
We come into the week, I was really hoping for a top 10. I seemed to struggle at some of the flat tracks, but Willman gave me a setup that pretty much carried me all race. It seemed like the only passing that was done was on the restarts. I might have made 1 or 2 passes under caution, but Willman really hooked me up this week. I got to thank those guys.
So I just heard Dakota ask Jake what his opinion was on the overall way that the racing went down tonight. We had 15 cautions, tied DWC. What'd you see up front? It looked pretty clean up front compared to the back, but in your time in the race, was there a lot of beating banging going on, or is it pretty respectful?
I was lucky enough to stay up front for most of the race, so I think most of the racing up front was pretty good. Me and Kenneth, we banged a little bit, but I think, it's close racing. There's nothing else you can do here at Phoenix. Everybody's just running on top of each other. There's no way to pass. Even the aero tie, you're dealing with that this week. It's just, I think it's just a product of Phoenix.
Completely hear you on that one. Before I let you go, just let us know who makes it happen for you.
Look, I think Wilman Incorporated, hooked me up with a good setup every week. Love working with those guys. Tyler Hudson, TDH, for sponsoring me for the Pro Series. Give a shout out to Tim. Forgot him last week, but I got Tim's corner on the car. I appreciate that. That's it.
All right, it is Dustin Montgomery, last week's winner at Texas, 4th place tonight. Solid points night for Montgomery. Send it down to Tim Terry with our 5th place finisher, Kenneth O'Keefe.
Kenneth O'Keefe comes home with position number 5 and a very exciting race. Walk us through those final couple of restarts, and Jared talked about the melee. Give us a little bit of insight on that too.
Yeah, the race is pretty crazy. I had one restart with Jared there. I pinched him a little bit, and we got together, and I was trying to save it and hit Carson. That caused a big wreck. Sorry to everyone that got involved. But other than that, it was just a lot of wrecks in the back, and the front was pretty clean.
Looking at the point situation, this is a night that you really need it. It's going to vault you up into the top 25 in points after 3 races. How big is that, and how big is this for momentum heading down to the last couple of races of the season?
The last 2 races I had really good cars, just bad luck with a blown engine at Texas and Daytona wrecked. But this is really good. Put me in 18th and should hopefully run this way for the rest of the season.
Homestead next week, what are the expectations?
Hopefully run pretty good, about the same, and just run that good everywhere else.
You got some sponsors on your race car. Who would you like to thank?
I'd like to thank Diablo Skins and my team MCR, Gerald Tyan, Tanner Stoops, Josh Connors.
And that is Kenneth O'Keefe coming home in position number 5. Race at Phoenix has completed. Final thoughts, guys? We'll start with Mike. A lot of cautions here this evening. But once again, Chad Lawton shows that he is one of the drivers to beat here this season, taking a 2nd win.
Yeah, I mean, I really think that Chad should start giving lessons to everyone out there on how to do this. I mean, he's just doing this textbook right now. He's got a huge points lead coming out of here with Carson's problems tonight. And, Chad's off to a good start. If he can continue running like this, this is Chad's championship to lose. So great job by him. Great job to the guys tonight. A lot of cautions, like you said, but it's to be expected. We tied DWC. No worse, no better. So it is what it is until the cars drive differently, until the tracks are a little bit differently gripped up. We're going to have that same problem. But these guys did a nice job with what they had to work with. A lot of hard, solid racing throughout the field. And we'll go on to Homestead next week and see what that brings us.
Well, tonight was interesting, to say the least. It's what we expect from Phoenix, though. Usually, I think we saw it last night with Real Sim Racing, and tonight with the Pro Series, it can be a train wreck, as I saw posted on the forums. It's interesting to see what happens here. It can be good, it can be bad, but I'm really excited for Homestead next week. I think that's going to be all the difference going in there next week. It's an interesting track. Both the corners are different. It's going to be interesting to set up the cars, and I think that's where I'll be focusing next week.
Definitely going to be exciting to see how the series rebounds next week and see if there's anybody on the bench possibly after this event at the Phoenix International Raceway. I want to thank everybody for tuning in here this evening to ETV Live. We'll do it all again next week at the Homestead Miami Speedway for round number 4 of the NASCAR iRacing.com Pro Series. So for the entire crew, JD Webb, John Westling, Dakota Ehrman, Mike Conti, my name is Tim Terry, saying we will see you next Tuesday night when we say, let's go racing, keep the hammer down, and we'll see you at the track.